Hello, and a very pleasant day to all our esteemed students and parents. The movement we've been eagerly anticipating is finally here. It's the day of the Flame University's Undergraduate Virtual Open Day, and we couldn't be more thrilled to have you join us in this journey of exploration and possibilities. The wait is over, and it's time to immerse yourselves in the world of Flame University right from the comfort of your screens. Here's a glimpse of what's in store for you. First, we'll be having streamlined admission insights. Are you curious about how to seamlessly navigate our admission process? We've got you covered with a step by step guide that ensures that your journey to Flame is as smooth and stress free as possible. We also have a comprehensive course overview, ready to dive into the wide array of courses that we offer. Today, you get to explore and I'm sorry, envision the exciting academic paths that await us. These courses are your stepping stones towards a future filled with limitless potential. Our Vibe Campus Life Showcase. Our campus pulses with life, growth, and opportunities around every corner. Today, you'll get to witness a dynamic tapestry that makes up our campus life, a realm of learning, connection, and personal development. This isn't just any session, it's an interactive journey. You'll be able to connect virtually with our esteemed faculty, engage with an enthusiastic student community, and have your questions answered by a dedicated admissions team. Our goal is to provide you with a clear understanding of how Flame University can shape the path to your success and fulfillment. Let's embark on a journey of discovery. Today's virtual open day empowers you to make an informed decision about your higher education, and we couldn't be more excited to guide you through this experience. Today, we have Professor Santosh Kotarkar, Professor Amit Kundal, Professor Farooq Mehdi, Professor Wahida Resmi, as well as our Director of Admissions Outreach, Ms. Anju Ma'am, who will be leading this session. So, without further ado, let's get ready to connect with the community that's dedicated to your growth. Before moving on, we would like to inform everyone present here that we'll be taking 2 to 3 questions after each session. So please put in your queries in the chat box after the session is completed. Now over to Arushi, who will be leading the itinerary for the day.
Hello, everyone. Um, so, our journey begins with none other than our very own undergraduate dean, Professor Santosh Kotarkar. Dr. Santosh Kumar Kotarkar holds a master's in physics from IIT Madras and a PhD from the Institute of Mathematical Sciences, Chennai. A theoretical physicist by training, his research interests are in applications of field theory in high energy and condensed matter physics, dynamical systems, and mathematical modeling in the social and management sciences. He will be your guide for the first session, where you will gain unique insights into the heart of Flame University, its ethos, and the academic excellence we stand for. Over to you, sir.
Thanks, Arushi. Can I share my screen, or am I allowed to share my screen? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Right. So a very good morning to all the participants out here. I know it's a Saturday, and Anju has scheduled it on a Saturday because I think you guys have school during the weekdays. Schools are for 6 days a week or 5 days a week, Anju?
So most of them are 5 days, but 6 days sometimes, only for the high schoolers with half days coming in, of what I know. But then we are so diverse. Some schools may be just working maybe 6 days a week, at least twice in a month.
Yeah, but the 6th day, I hope it will be very pleasant for those guys who have joined.
Yes.
Right. So let me begin my presentation, and then I'll keep chatting with you guys in between. This is
You can
this is
make
a
it full screen, Santosh sir.
yeah. This is a presentation that I usually make to parents and counselors, but then since uh, since the meat of the presentation is going to be done by Professor Andrea, I thought, let me explain what we mean by liberal education and what is its relevance in the 21st century. Okay. Right. So, which screen do you guys see? Do you see the screen which is a presenter's version, or do you see the whole the presentation on completely on the screen? I'm unable
Yeah,
to.
can someone put in a chat, please, quickly? Anika Chakrabarti, since you're active there, can you just see what you're seeing on the screen? Is it the presenter screen or presenter's version? Thank you so
Okay. So let me just change this.
now, not the full screen presenters, okay? Main screen and the next slide, both. Okay, thank you so much.
Right. So what about now?
Can someone just put in the main screen and next slide? What about now? I
Now?
think now we can see only the main screen.
Great.
Yeah.
Lovely. So I had 2, 3 screens out here. I disconnected all of
Thank you so much for asking.
them.
Thank you.
Right. So, this is the title of my presentation, that's Unpacking Liberal Education and Skills for the 21st Century. So, when you talk about liberal education, I know I'm preaching to the converted out here, because since you're already in this presentation, I'm sure you have an idea of what liberal education means. But when we talk about liberal education to the lay audience, right? They say, "Kya hota hai? What is this about?" Vis-a-vis in the experience that they come from, where higher education is all about specialization and not really exploring disciplines. Okay, and I hope I convince you regarding the relevance of liberal education in the 21st century. It has always been relevant. I think education was always liberal. It just so happens that in the past 50, 60 years, maybe the past 100 years, due to the Industrial Revolution, uh, specialized skills came to be valued a lot, at least at the beginning higher education level. Right. So, but this is, I'll be quoting from different sources and giving you what the great minds are thinking about careers, and the shape that society will take, and the direction in which our lives um, will go for the next 20, 30, 40 years, and so on. And this is a World Economic Forum report that came out. It was a very important report that came out in 2020. And I just grabbed a quote from there, which says, technological adoption will impact jobs and careers by displacing some tasks performed by humans into the realm of work performed by machines. This was 3 years ago, right? I, the future hadn't come yet, and they were anticipating what would happen. Now this is the era of chat GPT. I'm sure every one of you must be using it, and it's probably one of the greatest uh, innovations that, at least in the past 40, 50 years, that mankind has seen in terms of increasing its productivity and its impact on what has made India, for instance, a software powerhouse. Right? It can do stuff that was originally thought that only humans could do. Okay, and we haven't reached its full potential. And just remember, all the problems that you see with Chat GPT is, will be improved upon if not in days, in a matter of hours, right? And there are a lot of these things that are coming in, and what we see right now, and why the world is so excited about it. I'm talking about large language machines and so on, models and so on. So when I say Chat GPT, it's just an example of the broader automation that's taking over the world. And what people don't realize is that what we are seeing now is the worst of the models that we'll see in the future. Things are going to improve and dramatically improve over the years to come. So this one, some tasks performed by humans, careers by displacing some tasks performed by humans into the realm of work performed by machines. The it's We are seeing that as I'm speaking right now. There are many things that are being taken over by machines, and life tomorrow will be very different from life we have been leading to now, right? So, now the question arises, I'm sure, you guys are uh, looking at what do you want to do in your life, and what do you want to pursue in, at least at the most immediate stage of your life is your higher education, right? Going to college. Right? We look at, what employers are looking for, Okay, at least in the 21st century, in the past 10 years or so, what was it that they valued the most? Automation has been happening since a long time, but the pace at which automation has been happening has really picked up in the last 1 year or so. Okay, but then, uh, if you look at skills, what is it that the employers value the most? Okay, and this is again a World Economic Forum survey. Okay, so you'll see a lot of bar charts here. I'm treating you guys like adults. Uh, so this is again the World Economic Survey report on the relative importance of different skill groups. So here you will see three different colors, right? So there is a navy blue, there is a light blue, and I don't know what this color is. This beige or whatever, the lighter color, the whiter color. This is so on the left hand side, on the y-axis, are skills that every educated person should have. Okay. Generally, it's accepted that an educated person will have those skills, whether the education that they pursued provided for the enhancement of those skills or not is a different question altogether. If you see here, critical thinking and analysis is increasing in importance. What you see as navy blue here are things that the companies think, are becoming more and more important in the future, or today and in the future. Okay, and what you see as light blue is employers thinking that oh, this is as important as it was yesterday, and it will continue to be at the same level tomorrow. But what you need to notice is that the number of employers who think that critical thinking is going to be increasingly relevant is much higher than people who think that critical thinking will have as much relevance tomorrow as yesterday. So this is how you read this graph. And wherever you see, if you look at this length, right, if I say this length is 100, and you will see that critical thinking, problem solving, self-management, working with people, management income, at least till self-management, more than 50% of the employers think it will be one of the most relevant skills in the future. Right? The other ones, if you see, they're pretty much stagnant. The light blue one, physical abilities or core literacies, for instance, core literacies is about writing and so on. They will be as relevant tomorrow as yesterday. But what you need to focus your attention on is the first four skills, right? Working with people, that's teamwork. The ability, what is self-management? The ability to motivate yourself and not be supervised from outside. Of course, problem solving has always been important. But now everyone is expected to be a problem solver, not just the decision maker there. And probably the most important thing that is going to be very relevant is critical thinking, right? And analysis. What does analysis mean? There is a difference between analysis and synthesis. Okay, analysis is breaking up an issue into multiple parts. You analyze the separate parts, and then you synthesize your findings from those separate parts into one. Okay, but this breaking up a issue into multiple parts is an extremely critical skill. Okay, and it's very closely linked to critical thinking too, and problem solving. So this is again the future of job survey of 2020. This is top 15 skills for 2025. We are into the third year of the first half of the third decade of the 21st century. Again, if you look at the skills that they highlight, it's mostly about analytical thinking, problem solving, critical thinking, creativity, leadership, persuasion, resilience, stress tolerance, technology use, technology design, emotional intelligence, troubleshooting. They're not talking about, ability to build a robot, and right. They're not talking about ability to do accounting, balance the books, so to speak. All those things will be automated, right? But what these skills are, if you look at it, they're more of what makes us human rather than what makes us a worker. Okay, these are things that differentiate a human from an animal. An animal can also solve problems, but animal can also maybe reason, but not at the level that we can, right? And I want you guys to notice these things, right? Get that vocabulary into your system: critical thinking, creativity, learning, relearning, analytical skills, right? Leadership, emotional intelligence, persuasion, negotiation, resilience, ability to handle stress, agility. Here, call it flexibility, and so on. They're not talking about that mechanical engineering will be the most important skill, you know, for the first half of this decade. They're talking about broad skills. Again, these are skills that make us human. I again, this is pretty dated, but this is an survey that was again dated in the sense that it is. There is an organization called the National Association of Colleges and Employers in the US. What they do is it's a liaisoning body which brings employers and educational institutions together and help them communicate with each other what they want, what the employers want. They communicate it into what the colleges should be doing, and the other way, what are the colleges doing, and what should the employers focus on, and so on. And if you look here, this is a percentage of employers surveyed, the most value, and this is in increasing order, unlike the other graph. This is nearly 90% of the employers think problem solving is the most important skill. And nearly as many people think ability to work in a team and a strong work ethic, analytical skills, communication skills, leadership. This is where 50% is. Sorry. This is where 50%, this line, do you see my cursor? Uh, uh, this is where the 50% is. The majority are, whatever graph that you see is on the right-hand side. The majority of the people think that, these skills that have been highlighted from the bottom that are extremely important. But if you look here, if you go down, the things, technical skills and all are not as important as ability to work in a team, right? That not that many. I am reading it as that many employees. Majority's opinion is the final opinion. I'm looking at the wisdom of the crowds more. Of course, technical skills are important, but that's considered to be hygiene right now. If you are the smartest mechanical engineer in the room, but if you can't work with the team and you terrible social skills, there is nothing that you can accomplish, even though you are the smartest. Right? These skills are becoming extremely relevant because of the complexity of issues that you face in the real world. And none of those problems can be solved by a single person. You need to have a team, and you need to inspire the team to work for the common goal. Right? So again, some facts. Okay, the question arises. So I think if there are any mechanical engineers out here, I am not against you. I'm just giving an example of a highly specialized skill. Now the question arises, given these facts, how important is one specialization for the occupations that people pursue? Right? Now again, because this is a question that I'm sure is bothering you. What should I do in college? And what I do in college, how is it going to impact my career later on? Is this what I do in college? Is that all I'll be doing for the rest of my life? Right? These were very relevant questions when I was studying, but I don't think that's a relevant question today because of the facts that I'm going to present to you right now. Right. So the answer, I'll be answering in terms of a survey by asking, where do college graduates go? And this survey hasn't been done in other parts of the world except in America, because they have got a very strong ecosystem of and the motivation to understand what's happening in their world, okay, and what is the impact of their policies and so on. They're the richest country in the world. They can afford to do all these surveys and analyze stuff, right? So this is an eyeball. This chart is very popular in the data science community, but I'll explain to you what this is. This is looking at STEM majors, right? The ones who pursue science, technology, math, and engineering, mathematics, and all at college. So this is computers, mathematics, statistics, engineering, physical sciences, biological sciences. Psychology is a STEM discipline in, in the West, unlike in India where it's a social science. Right? It's mostly psychology is attached to medical school. Right? Social sciences, multidisciplinary studies, and so on. And social sciences, when they're talking about social sciences in STEM, it's mostly economics, maybe finance, management, management operations research and stuff like that, not sociology and other disciplines. If you look here, and these were the occupation groups, this is what people majored in college, the ones who were surveyed. And these are the occupation groups of those guys after they graduated from college. Right? What is it that they are pursuing? What is the career that they are pursuing maybe 5 years, 10 years, 15 years later on? And what you see here, if you see this yellow part, right? These are engineering graduates. Okay. These are computer science, maths, these are engineering, and this one I'll put it together. These guys just moved, whatever you see in yellow is the portion where what they pursued in college is what they pursued later in their lives. For instance, psychology here, and the yellow, the non-gray ones, here yellow, here blue, and so on. But what is it that you notice in the majority? You see that a lot of engineers have moved to social sciences. A lot of engineers have moved to arts and entertainment. A lot of engineers have moved to sales. A lot of engineers have moved to becoming managers, have moved to healthcare and so on. And the same holds for across the board. What you see as light gray here are stuff that were given the background of the STEM majors, right? What they pursued in college is not what they ended up pursuing later in their lives. And this is pretty surprising. And this is a 2015 study, and this is there on the US Census website. Okay. I think the data was still 2015 or 16. When they were not at that point in time, we were not as technologically advanced as we are now. A lot of jobs only specialists can do. Now, anyone can do, given the tools that are available to us. You don't need to pursue a college degree to do stuff for, in many of the disciplines, given how democratized all these things have become. But this is a shocking fact, right? So many of these guys graduated from college in the 80s, 90s, and so on. But they're all switched careers, multiple, they've all switched or doing something completely different. And this is true in the globalized world. What is true of the US will be true for all of us. And given your economic strata or the class that you come from, your problems will be first world problems. Poverty is not an issue for you guys. So what the US is seeing is what we'll be, seeing. The middle and upper middle class of India will have the same issues as, what the developed world will have. And that's a huge population in India. Right? And this is a very surprising fact. I hope you see this, right? What the STEM majors did in college, most of them didn't pursue STEM later on in their lives. Again, now it comes to the non-STEM, I think. Okay. These are all the non-STEM is social sciences, humanities, literature, arts, and so on, right? So these are the stuff. If you notice here, a lot of these guys, many of these guys didn't pursue what they wanted to, but then many of them, right, moved into different areas. So if you look here, so many of them have gone to the ones from languages and have also gone to becoming computer workers, mathematicians, engineers, and so on. People who pursued history. Here, the word liberal arts is not in respect to specialization, but it's it's a reference to the discipline of the humanities. Even those guys, ended up have switched careers later on, because there is a space for everyone, and there is, given the long lives that we will lead, what we pursue in college, we can switch over to a different discipline later on, pursue that, and and pursue and go on to pursue different careers in our lives. So college is not the end all of everything. What you do in college is not going to define who you are in terms of specializations. Again, if you see here, it's all over the place, right? The gray ones is all these transcending. And here the focus is mainly on STEM disciplines, in terms of the color here. But what you see as gray is everything that has been transcended. Right? Again, does the what you do in college matter? Maybe for your first job, but definitely not for your career. Right? This is Alvin Toffler's quote. He's a great futurist. Was very popular in the 80s and 90s for his books uh, about what he saw as what he thought of what the world would be in the 21st century, for instance. Right? And this is extremely relevant today. That the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn and read. So, to all of you who are going to go to college next year, this is a very important lesson. Don't get hung up on, this is exactly what I want to pursue. And the college is the end all of all your education in life. It won't be. It hasn't been since the past 10, 15 years. If you don't upskill yourself, you'll be, no one's going to look at you. You'll be the least competitive guy in the job market, or even if you're an entrepreneur. If you don't constantly learn and follow emerging trends, whatever you started will become outdated in no time. But these are very important words, right? Learn, unlearn, and relearn. The ability to learn is probably the most valuable skill that you should inculcate for the rest of your lives. Don't say I know everything. There's nothing that we know right now that doesn't get outdated by the time we finish reading that book. So what are the abilities broadly? So these are the abilities that Flame tries to inculcate. Like the ability to think critically, the ability to analyze effectively, communicate. Communication is probably the most important skill. This is not in any order. Okay, the 1, 2, 3 is just because I got a fancy template to put it in. Of course, work independently and collaboratively. That's teamwork and a strong self-management thing that the World Economic Forum was talking about. These things you have been talking about since 10, 15 years now. Right? I think from first principles. That's again got to do with analysis, right? Break down a problem to its essential roots and then analyze that, and you'll be able to get better insights into the issues that you are facing, rather than looking at it from a 30,000 feet point of view. Right? This Elon Musk and many of these big tech guys in Silicon Valley, keep emphasizing about ability to think from first principles. That's not to get bogged down by specialized vocabulary and knowledge and so on. Right? So ability to solve complex problems, very important that you have a sense of purpose in life. Don't meander through life as if, tomorrow doesn't matter. I think, the fact that we have a consciousness and we can reason and so on, we are philosophical beings by our very nature. Right? You'll be asking what is the meaning of life, and at some point in your life you'll be asking what is the meaning of my life. It's very easy to get disheartened and dejected when you realize that and find that we all have to move on, right? But then, what is it that we do between birth and death is very important. So sense of purpose is extremely critical. Self-explanatory, right? You have to be vocal in your thoughts and feelings. And resilience. Remember that World Economic Forum talked about resilience. What does resilience mean? You'll face a lot of failures in life. Doesn't mean that you give up. You should be able to. If you fall down, you should have the tenacity and the courage to, stand up. Even if you can't, try your level best to stand up and get back at the task and make sure that you succeed. Of course, given the rapid developments, you need to be flexible. Again, the World Economic Forum talked about that, right? Flexibility. And broadly 10 points. And this is broadly the essence of liberal education itself. Okay. So the question is, these are the skills that the employers value the most. Are regular degree programs designed to encourage the cultivation of these abilities? So when you go and do an accounting class in a regular college, are they looking at, are they trying to enhance your communication skills? Are they just checking whether you can balance the books, the credit and the debit side of things? Are they seeking more from you rather than just the ability to balance the books, right? So, this is my version of it. Regular undergraduate programs, this is only about undergraduate programs. And when I say regular, I'm talking about the Indian context today. I'm not talking about maybe to a large extent the European context, the continental European context. And and then UK too. A lot more about UK itself, applies. So you go to a regular college, right? And you say, oh, I'm doing a BA honors in or BCom honors in accounting, or a BA honors in sociology, or a BA honors in economics, or I'm a BTech, I'm doing a BTech in mechanical engineering, or I'm pursuing a medicine degree, right? Or or BTech in computer science. So you get admitted to colleges to pursue specialized knowledge. So all the skills that I mentioned earlier have got a name. The educationists call it transferable skills, right? So what does transferable skills mean? So these are skills that you can apply in any career and in any walk of life, right? You can transfer those skills, use the same skills in different walks of life. Specialized knowledge, for instance, let's say you're a computer science engineer, you need to have a computer or devices to apply that. You can't apply computer science engineering concepts to your life, right? You can't say, you know what I mean. So transferable skills. The colleges, regular undergraduate programs specialize on very a small fraction of the sum total of human knowledge. And then they say, oh, ability to learn, critical thinking, or all skills that you try to imbue from the side. Okay, you do your own stuff. So if you're a debater, you like debating, that's not talking about communication skills, you'll join the Model United Nations or whatever, some debating club, and you practice those skills there. And it's not mandatory from the college point of view for you, to make sure that you at least, you are exposed to those skills at all. But a liberal education program, I'm dumbifying this, I'm breaking it to its most essential parts in terms of its organization. What it does is, in the broad universe of transferable skills, it tries to give you specialized knowledge. Okay. So when you're doing an accounting class, you may have to present your results, how you went about doing this. Maybe you'll have to analyze the balance sheet of a company. That analysis, you'll have to present it in writing, but also do a oral presentation to the whole community and invite questions, right? And you may have to learn to write the way an accountant learns. But then your next class may be on, maybe a mathematics class or a programming class where you go there and try to gain specialized knowledge and understand, and learn how to communicate with machines, right? Coding will become a very important skill. But there's coding is nothing but, language itself. It's you're communicating through code to the machine. Every language is a code by that instant. So there are many universities which say learning coding, let's say learning a programming language is equivalent to learning a human language, that we use daily to communicate. Communication with machines is as important as communication with humans, right? But so all those skills have to be imbibed. Once you have those skills, right, you apply those skills in the specialized knowledge that you are doing. And this becomes the transferable skills becomes the foundation for your education. Okay. Yeah. Foundation for your education. And this is where you'll be able to learn better and appreciate the nuances of the specialized knowledge that you are getting better. Right? You should, one of the tests for your understanding is that you should be able to explain it to a 5-year-old, a very pretty broad concept. You must have heard of Richard Feynman. He always said, if I don't understand I don't, he said, if I can't explain it to a 5-year-old, that means that I don't understand that concept. I think there is a, on Twitter and all, I see this ELI 5. That is explained like I am 5, I think, right? That's breaking down a complex issue into simpler parts so that anybody can understand, which ChatGPT can do very well, and for many of the things that it has been trained on, right? So this is probably the essence of liberal education. Okay, that what the most important skills that make us human becomes the base for you to acquire specialized knowledge. We're not just giving you specialized knowledge and saying you get those most important skills on your. You will have to, every subject that you'll take will have these elements in it, and you'll be practicing it in practically every day of your life in a liberal education college. Right. So this is, I'll just stop here. Okay. So Indian context, I'll very quickly run to the Indian context. The new national education policy says every undergraduate program should become a liberal education program. Now there are, and if I just broadly go by it, so it is a radical departure from the past. And what does that mean? It means that they want colleges to go away from this model, what you see on the left hand side, and move towards the right. But there are big challenges, right? It's not very easy for any college to do this. It requires immense experience and a lot of resources to implement this. For instance, an engineering college should have a theater department, a music department, a sociology department, and so on. Except for the institutions that are at the top of the food chain, like the IITs and all, which have massive number of resources, they're there. Most colleges can't afford to do it, except a few, like the ones like Flame and a few others in the country, right? So this is again, if you read the national education policy, it was written mostly by Americans, not American educated Indians. Okay, so the focus is more on quality and skills, and these skills, the skills that I talked about, is all they talk about. This is basically they want the Indian education system to become American-like rather than British-like. Okay, so if you look at the vocabulary that even the government is talking about, that's the vocabulary of any liberal education institution. They talk about citizenship, critical thinking, and all these words I picked it from the national education policy, by the way. So plurality, an engaged citizen, scientific temper, resilience, right? Compassion, respect for diversity, inclusivity, and so on. Okay, and communication, this, right? So these are broadly, these are the skills that every educated person should have. And ethics, I'm surprised to say ethics there, but yeah. So workforce skills, for instance, right? Whether you are or in the traditional mold, whether you are an art student or a science student or an engineering student, what are the technologies that will shape our lives in the future? One should be exposed to all those technologies. The government is saying that you can't run away from technology if you're an art student. Arts has become more technological because where you apply technology is in the sphere of human affairs, which comes under the domain of arts, right? So better adopt these things before you get left behind, right? Pedagogy too, right? It's no longer about lecture and lectured. You need to engage with class. There are no teachers anymore. They are just facilitators, and having an engaged discussion inside the classroom is extremely important, right? So I'll stop. This is where I'll stop, and I have two more slides, by the way. What are the jobs of the future? I had an idea when I made this some 2-3 years ago. Today, I have no clue, right? Given the rapid pace of automation, I don't think anyone in the world has a clue. But then what will hold you in good stead for the rest of your life are the skills that I talked about, which forms the essence of what liberal arts is or a liberal education is. So I'll wind up now. Before I wind up, I just want to, since it was a very serious conversation, uh,
Santosh sir, do you want to open it for
no, I
questions
just
and
want to
then?
show them another
No,
slide. Okay.
after that, yes.
Yeah, maybe if I have time, maybe for 5 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah, I
okay.
have time. I
Yeah.
finished. I finished early.
Yes, so we'll just take 2, 3 questions. In the meantime, the participants can please keep the questions ready. Yeah.
Let me share my screen again. I couldn't paste this cartoon here, so right. Can you see this?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
I think Calvin and Hobbes are the greatest philosophers of our lifetime. Okay. Bill Watterson, but then I'm. So the question is, what is liberal arts? Okay, so this was the slide that I showed during the orientation for the current batch. So can you guys read it? So I'll read it out. Calvin, I hate going to school. I wish I was a tiger. Tigers don't need to know anything. So, of course, Hobbes is offended. Response: attacking running animals involves a lot of physics. There is velocity, gravity, loss of motion, not to mention all the biology we have to know. Then there is the artistic expression of it all, and a lot more. Calvin responds, oh gosh, I never realized killing was so grounded in the liberal arts. This is Hobbes again. My dissertation on ethics was very well received. This will be your life in a liberal arts college. If you ever, an institution which is anchored in liberal education, right? You'll have to toil with STEM and, ethics and philosophy and all those elements. This is a very fun way of looking at it, but this is what is expected, not just of tigers, but also humans. Yeah. Somebody has raised a hand.
Very, very interesting interpretation of.
We won't teach hunting at flame. Yeah.
Thank
So,
you, sir, so much for your insights. I think
Anushi,
we'll
can you moderate and give me 2 or 3 questions? Okay.
Sure, sir. So, okay, I think someone wants to know whether how worth finance with computer science is, and how is the course available at Flame, along with the scholarships that are available at Flame.
I think that question will be answered later on, but computer science, so at Flame, that's Andrea will be talking about it, I think. But you can do computer science with finance at Flame. We are probably one of the, I'm extremely proud of this fact that we started computer science a couple of years ago, and we have got extremely high quality for faculty out here. Okay, and finance, the Flame Investment Lab and all the founders were one of the biggest investment bankers in the country. Right, the kind of exposure that you get in Flame, I don't think anyone in the country will get the kind of opportunities and exposure that you will get in terms of finance and thing. Computer science, there are, what the way we do computer science is we cover almost all elements of engineering minus the electronics. But we also are looking at applications, computer science applications, and that's where computer science and design and many other things come in. Our curriculum is, as I would say, much more rigorous and much more expansive than a regular engineering curriculum for computer science. But you also learn about society, It's not just, you don't pursue computer science from day one, you do it from the second year. So
All right, sir. Thank you so much. I think we have another question. So, Varnika asks that the only place where she's getting stuck is if she cannot figure out what she wants to do from the past 3 years, and what gives her the guarantee that she'll be able to do it at Flame. She loves the concept of liberal arts, but this is where she's getting stuck. So that's the question.
writes in. Okay, so I'll put it this way. A confused soul was my favorite at one point in time. As long as you didn't know what you want to do, perfect. You would be exploring multiple disciplines, and you end up learning a lot more than the one who are solely focused on one thing and one thing only. Right. But so you guys must be, who's this Varnika, right? Varnika must be 17 years old now. 17 is an age of confusion, right? As you become mature, as you become older and older, you will try. There are many things that may interest you, but then you will start focusing your abilities on a few things, because with maturity uh, comes the realization that you can't do everything in life. Okay, you need to focus on a few things, and those few things you can do it well. So, for instance, at Flea, we don't have design your own major, but you can pursue a broad major and not declare a minor and do practically everything that is offered at, right? From theater to finance to psychology to computer science to everything else. So that opportunity exists with us. You need to make up for the credits. As long as you earn a minimum number of credits to get your major, the other credits, we don't care where it comes from, as long as you earn them from a wide basket of courses, from the wide era, basket of courses, or cluster of courses that we offer. We offer nearly 400, 500 courses a year. Of course, only a small, maybe around 100 courses will be available to you at every year of your stay at Flame. But then once you move to the fourth year or third year, practically everything is available to you. So you can, exploration never stops, right? You can keep exploring and develop newer interests and keep upskilling yourself till your last day at Flame. That's one of the things that I think we do very well. The massive number of choices that we give. Okay. And I think, you don't need to make up your mind, Varnika, right now. And if you come to Flame, you're between today and the day you have to make that choice, there's still 2 years. Okay. So that's, you can explore. 1 year at Flame, you're still exploring multiple disciplines too.
There's a very interesting question which I want Santosh sir to do, because this must be a question with a lot of people, and you're the right person. So, is Charu saying, are you trying to say that our old or conventional university colleges and their UG programs offered by them will become redundant
They're
or will
already
lose their
redundant.
importance in the
They're
future?
already redundant because the government is pushing every college in the country and every university in the country to move towards liberal arts, liberal education. I am advising this government of Maharashtra. My colleague is on the committee that is implementing it in Maharashtra, by the way. The central government is wielding the danda, okay, saying, I think by next year, many colleges are moving, and they have no clue how to go about it because they are still
Exactly. That was
disposed
my
of.
next question. One is to imply, and then the second question is, how do you deliver that program? Because
Yeah,
the dynamics of liberal education is something, I think it requires a whole ecosystem to run a course, not just one faculty
yeah,
or one classroom or a technical support, right?
yeah. So I think what the government is trying to do is, I think it has given an ultimatum uh, to all the universities. I think by 2024, that's next year's intake, has to be completely liberal arts this way. This was 2023, but I think many universities protested. And many of the universities are implementing it, colleges are implementing it. But the big challenge is, let's say I'm a college of arts and commerce. How do I introduce engineering in my college? How do I get a computer science guy to come and teach? I don't, I'm a poor college. When I'm talking about, I'm, not flame per se, flame is well endowed. So for regular colleges, it will become extremely difficult to find the faculty and the resources and the kind of options that we offer. Right? And I wrote an article on this, when NEP came out in India today. That how is when the government doesn't give salaries, when the private institutions don't pay their staff, and there is so much, uh, talent crunch in education. How are they going to hire maybe double or triple the faculty count and get those resources in place? For instance, an arts and commerce college should have a lab, should have multiple labs, should have many of these other elements coming in. And they should be able to give the choices that I talked about, right? The 400, 500 choices. That they don't declare their major when they join, they declare their major after 1 year or so. And this is, I talked to I made a presentation to some 20 vice chancellors of Maharashtra, and, they're flummoxed, totally. But they have to implement it from next year, by the way. They have no choice. But then what differentiates one college from the other is who has the resources and who has the experience. None of them know what they are doing. That's the challenge. Yeah. So that question,
Very good
and every
insight.
other, that college, that's become redundant. Not that they have a choice, they have to move towards this. Now the question is, you look at the faculty profile and the resources that the college has.
Yeah.
Duplicating a curriculum, you can just copy curriculum, okay, syllabus, but then it's the delivery that matters. Okay, education is open source. You'll see all our courses, everything on the website. Every institution's courses are on their website. But how do you implement it? Do you have the resources or the talent to implement it? That's where the crunch is. That's where a good college will get differentiated from another college, not by syllabus or curriculum, but by
And at
delivery.
least the students who understand liberal education a little bit, or the schools have exposed them, they will know how to research. But
Yeah.
the masses will still be lost till
Yeah.
the time those government policies and everything comes into
The
place.
government policy is there. So the problem with the government is the government
Implementing.
has a policy, but it doesn't give you the resources to implement that policy.
Implement. That's
Right?
a big
The problem is in the implementation.
yes. So thank you so much, sir. There's just one question, which last one you can take, which is different from all the admission and curriculum we'll be talking in our other sessions. With sir, I can just guide this question to you. Will Flame inculcate courses like politics, law, and economics? Such courses are gaining popularity in countries like UK and Singapore, and are must in emerging economies like India. So we do have some courses, but just from your
So,
end.
law is something that I think we have no plans to do in the future, but we have courses on law, governance, there's environmental law, and there are many other courses. Politics, our proxy for politics is international relations. We do politics and international studies. In a globalized world, you can't study politics from a national perspective, right? You need to understand politics. Political developments in America influences the politics of India, for instance. Right? So those things. And so we do current, what is relevant to the real world, which is international relations with politics. We do it. But law, we have multiple courses in law, but we don't offer a proper law
Degree.
major.
Yeah,
Economics so is one of our most popular
most
major.
popular. Yes, yes. And
But
we've had
three
students, I
together,
think,
all the
done.
three together, no.
Yeah.
There'll be a bit of here and there. Okay, so you can choose to pursue either of these two things.
And,
Yeah,
and I think we had a alum who did international studies and it was worked in UN, I think, right?
yeah. So they
Yeah.
went for their masters
Yes, yeah.
to the US, and
So
there are
yes, I mean,
many of our alums are lawyers too right now. They went to pursue law. doing very interesting things at Flame either. But a lot of them are in the US working with World Bank and all, the ones who did politics and all.
Politics, yes. So we'll respect the time, and Professor Andrea is going to
Waiting.
speak about, a lot that goes inside. Now, sir gave an overarching understanding of what it is, but how do we do it, and what kind of resources, faculty, people, and all those academic related questions. She will be here with us for, next 20, 25, 30 minutes. And Santosh sir, cheers, 3 minutes before time. Yeah, this is your record, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is your record. So,
No, I told Andrea that I'll take only half an hour. So Andrea, I'm 30 minutes exceeded my time by the
yes,
recording.
yes.
Chalo, I'll see you guys.
Thank
Bye.
you so much for giving your time on a Saturday, sir. And we'll proceed with the next
Sure. See you. Bye.
session. Thank you, sir.
All right. So we now have Professor Andrea Phillip, our Associate Dean, who will be taking the session forward. Professor Andrea has broad experience as a field and laboratory research biologist and a specialized research focus on the biology and conservation of sea turtles and other marine megafauna in South and Southeast Asia and Australia. Her most current research assesses sea turtle hatchery, management practices, and other factors affecting hatchling production and turtle-fisher interactions. Professor Phillips' teaching is informed by a secondary research focus on discipline-based education research in the biological sciences and environmental studies. Today, Professor Andrew Phillett will be taking us through the diverse courses and programs Flame offers to our undergraduate students. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Arushi. Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm sneaking in just before midday, so it is still good morning. I'm going to pick up where Professor Santosh left off and answer some of your questions about the specifics of how we teach liberal education at Flame. If you already know what you want to study, how will that work? If you don't know what you want to study, how will that work? And also, what sort of courses do we offer in our liberal education experience? So, and that students' education and career at Flame begins with what we call the foundation program, or their first year. And our foundation program includes 8 core courses, which every student takes, as well as 5 universes of knowledge, which every student has to take courses from within. So I'm going to start by looking at with you the 8 foundation core courses that all of our students take, regardless of whether they're going to study finance or environmental studies or journalism or psychology or design. All students take these 8 courses. Now, these are developing, they're the foundation of the skills that Professor Santosh described as being so important as moving forward in your career and being the skills that employers are looking for and employers need. So we have communication skills, which students learn in academic writing and public speaking. We have critical thinking skills, which students develop in the courses critical reasoning and mental. And then we have those transferable skills, which are going to give both value to your career, but also later on in life, just as a general member of society. And those courses are digital literacy, financial literacy, applied ethics, and environmental studies. Now, digital literacy, we all need to know about the cutting edge, the emerging information technology tools and solutions. So that makes sense. Financial literacy, we want to be aware of personal financial tools and techniques so that we can make sound financial decisions that are going to be beneficial for us personally. That also makes sense in a liberal education. Applied ethics, so understanding ethical theories and how they can be applied in real life situations. That's going to be of benefit to us throughout our career as well as our personal life. Introduction to Environmental Studies. Why is this course here? It seems very specific. So the University Grants Commission has deemed that environmental issues are likely to have such a major impact on society and different careers moving forward that Introduction to Environmental Studies is a required course for all university students. And so that's why Introduction to Environmental Studies is part of our foundation core. So just repeating, all students, regardless of what major area of specialisation they is going to study these 8 foundation core courses. In our first year of foundation program, students also take courses from across all of these 5 universes of knowledge. So every student has to take at least 2 courses. They can take more, but they must take at least 2 courses from among the social sciences, the humanities, the physical and the natural sciences, the fine and performing arts, and the global studies, which includes our languages. So whereas those foundation core courses were giving communication skills, transferable skills, critical thinking skills, and being able to work from first principles, the universes of knowledge give students the opportunity to explore areas of study that they may not have been exposed to in their secondary education. So a student who has studied commerce for their boards in high school has the opportunity to also take courses from within the humanities. So they can take courses in literature, history, cultural studies, philosophy. Yeah. That same student who studied commerce at high school gets an opportunity to take courses in physical and natural sciences. So they can take courses in math, statistics, physics, biology, chemistry, computer science, etc. A student who might have studied chemistry, mathematics, and physics for their boards gets the opportunity to take courses from among the fine and performing arts, like design, visual arts, sculpture, theatre, dance, and music, and also to take courses in the social sciences, such as sociology, political science, anthropology, or business. Then those students also have the opportunity to take some language courses. Take 2 levels of language or more from within the same language, like French or German or Spanish or Japanese or Mandarin or Persian or Urdu or Sanskrit. Yeah. Or they may take introductory levels in multiple languages. So they might take introductory French as well as introductory Spanish. The choice is theirs. Yeah. Flame offers a very wide breadth of courses within these universes, and students have got so many choices that it means that their transcript, their courses that they choose and then appear on their official record, can be quite unique. So if we just look at these social sciences in the most left-hand column on this table, we see that student A may want to explore courses like Principle of Economics and Introduction to Psychology. Student B may choose to take the courses Introduction to the Indian Political System and Introduction to Sociology, whereas student C takes Principles of Management and Thinking Like an Economist. So students get to choose from among all of the courses that we offer, so that they can take different combinations of courses according to what they are interested in, what they've never learned about, but they think that they would like to know more about, and also take courses in the area of specialisation that they are interested in. So already just within the first year of their education at Flame University through our foundation program, students are immediately reaping the benefits of a liberal education. Yeah? They're learning these critical thinking and these first principles and these communication and transferable skills through courses in our foundation core. They're getting a broad education through taking, courses across our 5 universes of knowledge. And they're getting the opportunity to explore areas that they have never been exposed to before. So already within the first year, the benefits of liberal education. The benefits do not stop there. Within our 3-year degree program, Students have the opportunity to pursue a Bachelor of Arts, a Bachelor of Science, a BBA, or a BBA in Communications Management. And you can see the many different areas of specialisation there on the screen in front of you. Yeah? So if we take the BSc as an example, students can pursue a BSc in Applied Math, Computer Science, Data Science and Economics, or Computer Science and Design. Yeah? They can take a BBA in Communications Management in Advertising and Branding, Digital Marketing and Communications, Film and TV Management, or Communication Studies. Now, they may develop an interest in these areas during high school, but they may also have developed an interest in these areas through being able to explore courses in the different universes of knowledge. So a student that comes from a PCM, a physics, chemistry, mathematics background at high school, but already knows that they don't necessarily want to go forward and do a BSc, has got the opportunity to explore different areas and now pursue a BBA or a BA or a BBA in comm management based on the courses that they will have taken during our foundation program. Students have the opportunity to exit with a 3-year degree or to remain at Flame and complete a 4-year degree. And if they complete the 4-year degree, they'll be graduating with a BA, a BSc, a BBA, or a BBA comm management with honours. So that 4th year of study is their honours degree. This can be invaluable for students who feel like they want an additional year of preparation before entering the workforce. Some students already know that they want to try and pursue graduate studies overseas, where they feel that the 4th year will be of benefit to them, so that it gives them 16 years of education in total. However, we do have students who enter the workforce directly or enter graduate studies in India or various countries after the 3-year degree, as well as after the 4-year degree. So students can be job ready after a 3-year degree. Part of that is up to the students themselves. For students who are concerned that a liberal education doesn't allow them enough time to take a deep dive into their area of specialisation, excuse me, I'm coming down with a cold. Please don't be worried about that. Yeah? So if we have a look at something like psychology, which is one of our most popular areas at Flame, students who study psychology as their major get the chance to take courses like social psychology, abnormal psychology, community psych, positive psych, cognitive psych, developmental psych, and experimental psych. And so you can see from all of the courses which are listed under these different areas of study that even though students are focusing on their major, primarily in their 2nd and their 3rd, and then maybe in their 4th year of study, they are not losing any depth to what they are studying. So they still get the opportunity to take a very broad range of courses, which are very diverse and are going to give them the depth of experience in their major, regardless of whether they study psychology, economics, finance, computer science, international studies, data science, and economics. There's a very broad range of courses for them to study within their main area of specialisation. The other advantage, so that Flame gives specifically to students, is that they have the opportunity to combine 2 different disciplines. So students don't just graduate with a major area of specialisation, they graduate with a minor area of specialisation as well. And there are over 350 major minor combinations. So first, before we look at what those different combinations are, let's think about why is interdisciplinarity important? Where is the advantage to earning both a major area of specialisation and a minor area of specialisation? Okay. And there are several different reasons for that. Yeah. Okay, the first is that there are connections between what appear to be very different disciplines. So, for example, finance is informed by history, by psychology, by economics, by mathematics and sociology, as well as different disciplines. So by taking a major in finance and a minor in psychology or economics, students are able to understand better the factors that have shaped the discipline in the past and in the present. That then gives them the second advantage, which means that they have got better information, better skills with which to be able to make decisions as they work within that area of discipline. So a student who has got an understanding of economics or psychology or mathematics or sociology is better equipped to make decisions, sometimes in very short periods of time, within their major area of finance throughout their career. So there's a very great advantage into having two areas of specialisation in this interdisciplinary approach to liberal education, which Flame uses. So our 3-year undergraduate program has got more than 350 possible major minor combinations. Obviously, there's so many that it's incredibly difficult to be able to read them all on one slide. So I do suggest that you go to our website to be able to find this information. But somebody in the Q&A box specifically asked about psychology. So if I have a look at the psychology row in the dark grey, I see that a psychology major can be combined with a minor in finance, marketing, operations, business analytics, entrepreneurship, human resource management, literature and cultural studies, advertising and branding, digital marketing and communication, film and television management, journalism, environmental studies, computer science, international studies, sociology, economics, philosophy, dance, music, theatre and performance studies, and design. So you can combine that major in psychology with many, many, many minor combinations within the 3-year degree, as well as the 4-year degree. Now, we cannot offer every single combination of every major and every minor because we are limited by a number of hours in the day. Simply, we would have to offer classes 24 hours a day to be able to allow students to take every single possible combination. But also some combinations aren't possible because there is a great degree of overlap. So there's a lot of overlap between courses that you take in marketing and operations or business analytics or entrepreneurship. And so therefore we don't offer that combination of major and minor. So at Flame, during a liberal education experience, as well as the foundation program, which sets students up with the foundation core courses, also allows students to explore different courses throughout their universes of knowledge, then to start pursuing both a major and a minor area of specialisation. We also offer these experiential learning opportunities. These experiential learning opportunities are offered from the first summer, after the first year of education at Flame. So at that time, students pursue the first of 2 to 3 internships during their study at Flame. So in the first summer, students take their first internship, a 1-month internship, as part of the developmental activities program. So this is in the social immersion internship. This is where students are working with an NGO, and the NGO may work within the fields of education, elder care, youth care, animal welfare, the environment, computer literacy. So there are many different areas. Students get to choose the NGO that they would like to do an internship with. So they're working within an area of their interest, but it doesn't have to be related to their studies. This is an internship for academic credit. So during the internship, students are mentored by a faculty member at Flame, as well as by an organisation mentor at the NGO that they are working at. They have to complete certain responsibilities. They write a report about what they have learned during this internship, and they also give a presentation at the end of the internship as well. In the following summer, after their second year of studies, students complete a 2-month internship during the summer internship program. This is a professional immersion opportunity. So students are working with internships in industry, business, think tanks, government, academia, large NGOs, etc. Again, this is an internship for academic credit. So students are required to prepare a report as well as to give a presentation after their internship has finished. Students repeat another internship after their third year of studies if they stay to complete the 4-year undergraduate program. In addition to internships, students also get the opportunity to do original research projects at Flame. So in the Discover India program, which is conducted during their second year of studies, students are undertaking field research project and exploring different dimensions of Indian history, culture, civilization, as well as I'm going to include in here ecological or environmental dimensions of India. So students work in teams. They are able to travel to different parts of India to conduct research on a project which they decide upon with a faculty mentor. That students are responsible for finalising the topic, for preparing a budget, for making all of the travel arrangements, for to travel both within the state of Maharashtra or interstate, if that is where they are going, for making local accommodation and travel arrangements, for facilitating interviews with people who are going to provide them with information about their research topic. And then again, this is an experience for academic credit. So students are preparing a report and they are delivering a presentation on what they have learned throughout their experience. The second formal research opportunity occurs in the 4th year of study, in which students are doing a major project. So this project may be project-based, it may be a research study, they may do it as an individual or they may do it as a group, but this is where we are looking to students to start addressing issues which are of relevance to either society, technology, business, or other aspects of life. So they're addressing real-world problems using the skills that they have developed during their undergraduate degree in the first 3 years. We have value-added courses in addition to the courses that students take in the foundation year, as well as their major and minor, as well as those experiential learning opportunities I just described. Those value-added courses include sports, course on technology and technology and society, and then they take value-added courses that give professional skills such as teamwork and then professional skills in their career. We have a global immersion program where students have the opportunity to study abroad. This is not a holiday for a semester. Students travel abroad to complete courses that contribute to their degree at Flame, but they can study at any of our partner institutions. We currently have partner institutions in North America, in Europe, and in Southeast Asia or East Asia. We're constantly expanding our network of partner institutions so that we can offer more global immersion experiences for students and the opportunity to go and study for a semester at institutions such as Sciences Po, at the Frankfurt School of Finance and Management, at Wellesley, or Amherst College, or at Yale, or at the University of British Columbia. Students also have the opportunity to attend international conferences and to participate in long-term international research projects, such as our association with the Wage Indicator Finance in the Netherlands. And for students who are interested in learning more about these opportunities, I do direct you to our website. We've got a very limited amount of time today to be able to speak about these topics. So you can find out more about these opportunities on our website, and then obviously students are given more information about them when they join Flame. We have faculty scholars who conduct research that students can participate in as student researchers, undergraduate researchers. as well as a number of distinguished guests who speak at Flame. And so students are exposed to emerging research, real-time research from both the faculty that they are taught by and can potentially become involved in their research projects with, and from the distinguished guests that we have speaking at Flame. So we really have a global campus experience. We have a very diverse student body with scholars coming from all over India as well as from internationally. And then our student life is further enriched by both sports opportunities for students, as well as by the vast number of academic, extracurricular and co-curricular clubs that students can join, such as the Finance and Investment Club, the TEDx. Students can participate in various festivals, conferences. We have the Flame Centre for Entrepreneurship and Innovation, as well as our inter-college competitions that students are welcome to become involved in. So if I was to summarise liberal education at Flame, I would highlight that we have rigorous academics. We have both a broad knowledge that is delivered in the first year where students study from across different disciplines for their own benefit and to give them opportunities to be able to explore different areas, which they may decide upon as a minor area of specialisation or even a major area of specialisation, as well as develop interests for later on in life. We've got very innovative choices so that students may have quite unique transcripts from their peers. We've got experiential learning opportunities where students can immerse themselves in internships or in research opportunities. We've got very engaged faculty with global expertise who are not only teaching students, but also act as mentors for them in the first year to help them become familiar with the education style at Flame, but also advise them throughout their second year, third year, and potentially fourth year of studies so that they're prepared for either, academic advisors advise them on ensuring that they maintain their academic progress, then potential career pathways and opportunities for graduate studies. We've got very close linkages with industry so that students are merging that interface or crossing that interface with industry, both through internships as well as through guest speakers and the opportunity to meet other people on campus. We've got a state-of-the-art infrastructure and a very diverse and active student and research community at campus itself. Through our transferable skills courses, as well as our value-added courses and the skills that they develop through experiential learning, students are prepared for their career. Then finally, our location in Pune, we are very close to Mumbai, so we've got close proximity to an international airport, as well as being within one of the tech hubs and education hubs within the city, and so we can reap the benefits of that. So this is an overview of the liberal education at Flame. If you apply to Flame and are accepted a position at Flame, there are more detailed webinars that will occur later in the academic year for you that will sort of approach some of these topics in a little bit more detail. But in the meantime, I'm looking at the Q&A box now to see if there are any common questions that I can answer. So there's a couple of students asking if they already know what they want to study as their major area of specialisation. Do they need to take those courses in the foundation program? So do they need to take the foundation core courses, those 8 courses that every student takes, as well as study courses throughout the universes of knowledge? And the answer to that is yes. The foundation of a liberal education comes from studying across these different disciplines, which are introduced in the foundation core, which also gives a number of skills, as well as studying across these universes of knowledge. So all students, regardless of what their major is going to be, take these 8 foundation core courses, as well as take courses from across these 5 universes of knowledge. So if you come into Flame already knowing what you want to do, you take these courses in the foundation core as well as courses across these universes. If you come into Flame not really being very certain what you yet want to study as your major area of specialisation, then studying the foundation core will give you skills. Studying across the universes of knowledge will give you the opportunity to explore different areas so that when it comes time to declare what your major area of specialisation will be, and we ask students to do that about halfway through their first year of studies, although they do have some leeway to change their major area of study within the following 6 to 12 months, you've got a little bit of time to be able to explore before you declare what your major area of specialisation will be.
Andrea, I just want you to take one question about
Yes, yes,
mathematics.
Anju.
About math, where the student is asking what are the options available at Flame for a commerce student without mathematics.
So some of our programs, so the Bachelor of Science in Mathematics does require students to have taken mathematics courses at high school. If students are going into a BA though, and they want to study economics or finance or business analytics, and they haven't had a strong mathematics background at high school, or they didn't perform as well as they would have liked to at high school, we offer a very wide range of courses to prepare students for those areas. So we would suggest that students are taking pre-calculus or introductory to calculus and other courses in their first year to prepare them for a major in finance or economics, etc. There's a number of questions about combinations of majors and minors. I can't answer all of those questions because they're simply quite unique. So I do recommend that you go to the website and have a look at what minors you can combine with different majors. We do offer a Bachelor in Design, and Professor Amit is going to speak about that very, very soon. So I'll leave questions about the Bachelor of Design to him. I do have a question though to elaborate a little bit more about the honours program. So in our fourth year in that honours program, student who is doing a Bachelor of Science in Applied Mathematics or Computer Science will still take courses within their major and their minor area of specialisation. So the fourth year is an opportunity to take even more advanced courses than what they took in the third year. The defining characteristic of the four-year program is that interdisciplinary project or research study that they take. That runs across both semesters. It's for credit, so students are getting an opportunity to pursue either a project or a research study that they are interested in. They can do it individually, they can do it as a group, they can combine their major area of specialisation with their minor area of specialisation. So somebody might be developing a financial literacy tool for elders. Somebody may be examining environmental issues. Somebody may be examining psychological, maybe engaging in a study of psychology. So what are factors that lead to stress amongst different demographics? Yeah. So there are many diverse opportunities for students to be able to pursue here, but the defining characteristic of this fourth year program is the project or the research study. And I've finished precisely at 12:30 for you, Anju.
Thank you so much, Andrea. It means a lot because I do engage with students, and for them to hear from the faculty about what's going in inside gives them a lot of reassurance. And there are a lot of questions on admission and whether you can take this eligibility. We'll take all that in my session towards the end. Thank you so much, Andrea. And now we'll move forward with the session, keeping up with the time schedule. And we'll definitely invite Amit now.
All right. Thank you so much, Andrew, ma'am, for your insights. So, following Professor Andrea, we are excited to now introduce you to Professor Amit Kundal, who is the Assistant Dean of the School of Design, Art and Performance. Yes. Professor Amit Kundal has received the doctorate degree in human-centered design and Master of Design from IIT Kanpur and his bachelor's degree in design from National Institute of Fashion Technology, Gandhinagar. His passion and current work spans across design research, reimagining user journeys, edifying designs, and business innovation tools for strategic design innovation, and is also actively involved with the global design thinking movement. Professor Kundal will now take you on a captivating journey through our Bachelor of Design program, providing you with an in-depth understanding of how creativity and innovation come together at Flame. Over to you, sir.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Arushi. Good
We
afternoon,
can see your
everyone. I think
screen. Yeah,
thank you for joining us today for this virtual open day. You can see my screen?
Yes, Amit.
Hi. Yeah, but my screen is visible, right?
Yes, yes.
All right. Okay. So thank you, all of you for joining us today for this virtual open day. I think that Professor Santosh and Professor Andrew has already set a very good context to what is liberal education, right? So I am Amit. I'm the Dean for the School of Design here at Flame University. I'll share with you a bit of the new baby on the block at Flame, which is the BDES program. So before I begin, I want to I want to lay the context that, we actually underwent for about 1 year of extensive research to understand that what is the landscape of design education and what kind of program is that we want to set at Flame, which has a unique kind of nature. Right, you saw Professor Santosh talking about top future skills around problem solving, critical thinking, and creativity. I think all of those three skill set comes into the discipline of design. Right. So when we were researching, one of the fundamental things that came out that we
There's
talk
a
about human-centered
sorry,
design.
Amit. There's a comment from Aditi, sir. You're not audible. Because I can hear. I'm just checking with the audience. If you can
Not
just
audible.
send me a thumbs up or a yes, you can, or something. Some of you, please. Because let's just figure out whether it's Aditi's. Yeah, we can, sir. We'll go ahead. Yes. So maybe Aditi, you have to fix your audio. Thank you. So we'll go move forward. Uh, I'm experiencing a frozen screen. Yes, I can see you moving and
Can you?
yes,
Yeah. Am
yes,
I
yes,
okay now?
yes,
Can you?
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
yes. Thank
Cool.
you.
So I mean, what I was saying was that I lay the context before I get into the presentation. So we underwent an extensive 1 year of research to understand that what is the design education landscape. Right. You saw Professor Santosh talking about the top future skills about problem solving, critical thinking, and creativity. All of these three key skill sets are actually part of design as a discipline. Right. When we were doing research, one of the fundamental things, and most of the time when you do research, you find something which is obvious and you still feel that, okay, I mean, it's so unique, right? So one of the fundamental things that came out that we talk about human-centered design, but what is human-centered design without understanding the idea of humanities, right? Because at the end of the day, human is a community which, is in the discipline of humanities, right? And liberal education, the second word to liberal education is the word of humanities. So we believe that, if a new kind of a design education pedagogy has to be established, it has to be established within the ethos of liberal education, because the new age designers did not only need to understand the surface level human understanding, but need to understand the lens of humanities, understand humans from a psychology perspective, understand humans from a sociology, anthropology perspective. So if you look at my slide, according to a study, every dollar that you invest in an experience design brings an average of 100 in turn, which is actually an ROI of over 9,900%. Another report talks about that design centric companies outperform the others by 211%. This is because good design approach is being user centric, is being someone who can solve complex problems, someone who understands technology, someone who understands consumer behavior, and also understand the economic and business environment. Therefore, design is becoming the go-to career. Designers today need to understand other related and relevant disciplines like psychology, behavior sciences, data analytics, strategy, right? But still, in tandem with design methodologies of thinking and making. The reason is because designers now solve a very complex problem. I'll give an example. Like today, if someone gives a problem to a designer that find a new kind of an education model, right? So that's a design problem. How do you solve it if you do not understand the, let's say, business landscape of things, if you do not understand the psychology of your stakeholders, if you don't play with data, right? So I think that, understanding these disciplines is very, very critical going forward for design as a discipline. So we need to go beyond the lens of, human-centric approach to more of an humanity-centered approach to design, because designers, more so in the age of AI, will be more of thinkers, need to solve complex problems for sure. So our new age design education curriculum is set to prepare those future designers who can evolve according to this rapid change of technology in today's industry. So what's our big idea about design education? So our big idea of design education is that we found our thinking in design thinking and systems thinking with a real world exposure, so that you apply. You just kind of don't learn what is happening, you apply it. You apply it through a lot of industry projects that you do in the curriculum. You apply it through a lot of kind of industry immersions that we built in the curriculum. But we also understand design from the lens of liberal education, with subjects like psychology, behavioral sciences, technology, specifically talking about data and AI, business economics, and literature and cultural studies. This interdisciplinary approach of design education is the new paradigm with the technological driven age that we are in right now. So if you think about it, what we are saying is that we want to move away from typically a T-shaped designer to something that we are calling as a pie-shaped designer. Why are we saying a pie-shaped designer? Because we are saying that, okay, a designer will get a holistic liberal education overview in the foundation, because we are keeping the foundation common also for the design students. Then they will build a very strong vertical with a major in experience design. Right? We don't want to call it user experience, because when you say a word user experience, our limited understanding is that it's more about kind of making interfaces. But the guy who coined the term user interface, right, Don Norman, he himself defines it as something which is more of a connected experience, right? Someone who needs to kind of understand interface also needs to understand a product, also needs to understand the business behind it, right? Two good examples of good experience is the Paytm point of sale machine, right? It's a machine which has a voice interface. It's good for the consumer. It is also good for the seller. It's a brilliant experience. Another brilliant example is, of course, Apple. So our curriculum fosters this interdisciplinary nature by providing a pie-shaped curriculum with a major in experience design, and the second vertical is a minor in any interdisciplinary interconnected design discipline, which is more on psychology, business analytics, marketing, literature, culture studies, and entrepreneurship. With a degree within the design degree, we offer courses from design discipline to build thinking and making ability, also the skill set to represent and communicate ideas. We also offer courses from humanities such as ethnographic research or intro to psychology or human behavior. Also offer courses from business side and analytics like business design, data driven design, AI, ML, or understanding programming, to name a few. Some of our key USPs, other than just being an interdisciplinary school, right? I mean, whatever you heard Professor Santosh and Professor Andrea talk about it, most of this also applies to the BDES program, because we are, as someone asked a question, that is BDES part of a liberal education curriculum? Absolutely yes. I think that's the most kind of key thing for our curriculum, because we are laid in the foundation of liberal education, where the idea is the interdisciplinary nature of education, right? What are the other key things? Other key things is that we foster active collaborative learning, right, through a lot of kind of different design studios or industry-based approach, or an integrated industry thinking approach that we built in the curriculum, where students will be working on a live project in a group. that's something that we want to foster, because one of the another skill set that Professor Santosh mentioned was about being a collaborative team player. And I think that's something that we want to kind of build within the curriculum itself. Another thing which is a key element, that we definitely have a legacy in interdisciplinary education. Flame is a pioneer in interdisciplinary liberal education, right? So our curriculum is also future oriented. Our campus is an amazing campus, and as Professor Santosh was saying, I concur with the thought that the most important part of it is that who is the faculty, right? So if you look at the faculty profile, even in the design curriculum, we've just started our program. We already a strength of about 8 to 9 full-time faculty. All of them are a PhD from a top global institute, right? So, and we are continue to hire, and hopefully, we'll double our strength in the next 1 year. So we provide a power of choice. So I always tell the students that if you pick a BTech program at Flame, you have the power of choice, right? Power of choice means that you could do design along with, let's say, psychology. If you do something with psychology, you could actually be working at the intersection of creating experience for human behavior and cognition. Or you could do design with a combination in analytics, where you could actually be working with something which is more a data-driven experience. Or you could do design with a combination of entrepreneurship, where you could actually kind of build your own brand, build your own product as soon as you graduate from the program, because you understood the idea of entrepreneurship by doing those 14-16 courses from the discipline. So I'll just give you a quick kind of roadmap to what a major minor combination could look like. So first year remains common, right? It's a common foundation that even the design students go through, like what Professor Andrea explained to you. It's about the core kind of courses that you do, and then you also pick some courses from the 5 knowledge universes. In the second year, if let's say you're doing a design major and a psychology minor, so what is a possible roadmap? Think about it, that you're doing a course on design thinking. You're also parallelly doing a course on introduction to psychology. You think about that combination, that you want to understand humans, and parallelly you're learning a course on introduction to psychology. I think that could be a great combination, and you're learning from the top psychology professors in India, right? In the second year, in the second fourth semester, you're doing something on UX design, and parallelly you're doing quantitative and qualitative research, right? I think it's a great kind of a combination, and something absolutely unique for any design pedagogy and curriculum in India. Look at the year 3. You're doing a data-driven course in semester 6. Along with that, doing something on neuropsychology or systems thinking. Similarly, if I look at the roadmap of a design major with an entrepreneurship minor, for example, right, you're doing a design thinking course, but now you're doing a marketing management along with it, or a lean startup along with the UX course. You're doing a service design course, right? Along with that, you're doing a business planning course from the entrepreneur side. You're doing a data-driven design course, right? And you're doing a parallel course at the entrepreneurship side around how do you launch a new venture. I think these interdisciplinary combination of subjects equip students with the ability to think from different perspectives, and moreover make them that holistic designer that the world is looking for, and is desperately needed to solve these complex issues. So for us, because we are an academically, we understand that for academic side of it, we're doing fairly well in terms of giving our students the best kind of global curriculum, right? But because we are a fully residential campus, so learning doesn't stop only within the classroom boundaries, and only doesn't happen between class hours. So we are building a lot of things around the curriculum which can enhance our student skill set. For example, we do skill up Saturdays, where we call an industry expert to kind of pick one of the key skill set about design. It could be, let's say, about what are the new AI tools and how do designers use it, right? We do reflection days, where we give our students something to read, and as a faculty we meet them and say that, okay, let's reflect on any current trendy topic of design, right? Or we just generally kind of as a faculty group, or call someone from the industry, meet our students in the evening just to catch up and see what's happening, just to have a conversation. We also kind of are setting up a brilliantly good makers lab, about 5,000 square feet, state of the art, and as soon as that is ready in a week's time, we plan to do like a makers week or hackathon for students beyond the curriculum. what are the kind of career pathways? I mean, that's a question. I mean, very difficult to answer today because with the rapid change of technology, we don't know what kind of careers are going to kind of come 5 years down the line. But typically, it will be something around experience design, interaction design, researchers, entrepreneurship, design manager, business designer, someone who's a design strategist, someone who's an innovation manager, so on and so forth. We are very fortunate that we've got support from one few very top design leaders across the globe. So we have Don Norman, the guy I said that who coined the term user experience design, is actually known to be the father of modern day design. So he is on our advisory board. He's helping us kind of set the curriculum, understand what's right and what's not, navigate through the complexities of curriculum design for sure. We have Inigo Matthews. Inigo Matthews is the dean of Institute of Design at Illinois Institute of Technology, one of the top 5 design schools globally, and he's on board. We're working very closely to look for master's progression for students at ID, and also kind of he comes and speaks to the student once in a while to understand that how design is practiced from a global lens, so that students kind of already pick up those skill sets. We also have Simona Masci. Simona Masci is the co-founder of Copenhagen Institute of Interaction Design, one of the top 5 design institutes globally. We've recently signed an MOU with them to do their summer school next year on Flame campus. We have Deepak Menon. Deepak Menon is the Vice President of Design of Microsoft India. We also have Ashwini Deshpande, one of the pioneers in design entrepreneurship in India, who runs a very successful Elephant Design Studio in Pune. We're also working with top design institutes in terms of building internships, master progression for our students, including the CID, ID, University of California, San Diego, and the D Lab at Harvard University. So that's more about the about the design program at Flame. Right, I'm sure that in due course of the next academic year, we'll meet again where I can then take you little more detailed into specifics of the program for sure. And if there's any question right now, I'm happy to answer.
Yeah, so there's Neva says, is it possible to see any project, student project when they come to campus visit? You can absolutely meet the faculty and
Absolutely.
details.
For sure, yeah, definitely. We can definitely see. So we actually have been running a minor program in design for the last 10 years. So it's not that we are a newbie to design, right? So so it's been a very successful minor program. Those learning is what has encouraged us to kind of start a majors program. So there are a lot of projects that we'll be able to show you once you are on campus for sure.
Sure. Can we attain design as a minor and psychology major? Yes.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
Because again, you should understand it's a liberal education, and we have School of Design as part of the university. While you're studying design, you can do psychology, business, literary, culture studies, and 2 more. And vis-a-vis, when you're doing something else, you can take design as a minor. So this session today is to apprise you, and we will again have a pure specific session for only design interested or who think they may be interested. Session with Professor Amit Kundal, and then we'll send you an invitation for that again.
Yeah.
So. Thank you so much, sir. We do not have any other questions specific. They're all admission related, which I'll be taking towards the
Okay.
end. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Talking to you is always so amazing, and as the passion I see in how you build the whole thing, and I wish our audience could see that little talk of Mr. Don Norman. What his uh, feedback was. I mean, I believe I've heard it from you. He's denied to be on the advisory board of the IITs to some other best universities in the world, and how he
Yeah.
was so excited to be part of our university, because I remember one line he said, you're starting on a clean slate and you can put exactly what you want to do. We do not have to go back and fix something. We're just into the new way of design. And we'll do, I promise to all the audience, whoever is interested, we'll send you a mail, and we'll have a closed room session just with Professor Amit Kundal and some of his other faculty as well. Whether you choose to be on campus or offline or online, we'll figure that out. So thank you so much, Professor Amit. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone. Take care.
Thank you so much, sir. So the excitement does not stop there. Next, we have Professor Farooq Mahdi, the director of the sports department. So Dr. Mahdi S. Farooq did his PhD in physical education and sports science from the University of Pune, India. He has done his undergraduate and postgraduate studies in Azad University in Iran, where he grew up. He has always had a huge passion for sports, and his mission is to promote and advance learning and knowledge in the area of physical education and sports sciences through innovative teaching and research. Today, he will be taking the virtual stage to give you a glimpse into the world of sports at Flame University. Discover how we foster a culture of athleticism, teamwork, and holistic well being with Sir. Over to you, sir.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. I would like to share the screen first. I hope it's visible now.
Yes, you just have to make it full screen though.
Yes. Coming?
Yes, Farooq,
Okay,
absolutely
fine.
clear.
Thank you so much. Yeah, today I'm going to talk about the sports and the sports activity in Flame University. There is lots of excitement point that I would like to share. The first point is that, so I'm not sure that if you get the chance to visit Flame University, but if by the chance you had come here, I'm sure that you noticed that we have world-class sports infrastructure. That is one of the attractive point that, when the students or parents are arriving to campus, they say such a wonderful facility that Flame University has. Of course, this is one of them. So I'm sure that you have seen the other part of Flame as well, but today I'm just going to emphasize on the sports part. So these are the sports facility that we have: gymnasium, 6-lane synthetic running track, artificial football field, indoor fitness hall, indoor yoga hall, billiards hall, table tennis, indoor badminton court, indoor squash court, indoor basketball court, indoor volleyball court, cricket field, outdoor volleyball court, outdoor tennis court, Olympic size swimming pool, chess, carom, dart, and also we have access to 8-hole golf course nearby. So of course, for maintaining the sports facility and for training the students, giving the right skills in different sports, we need to have a good team of coaches that indeed we have. So we have 9 full-time coach and 10 visiting coach in Flame University. So they are highly qualified, and some of them even have a experience of coaching state level sports team. So that's a point that we never compromise with the coach quality. So this is the structure of the sports department: the sports staff, coaches, sports secretary, and joint secretary, which is coming out of the students council. I think Dr. Razmi after me is going to talk about the council as well. Chairperson of Flame Kurukshetra, which is one of our big sports culture and management event, and house captains, because in Flame University, students are allocating different houses. 4 houses we have. I'm going to talk about that. So every house has a house captain, which they are part of the sports committee, the sports joint secretary, and the sports clubs. So I'm going to talk in detail about the sports clubs as well. But the unique part of the Flame sports in Flame University, apart from the infrastructure, is that sports is mandatory for all first-year students, which I don't think so in other universities exist, as per my knowledge. But in the first year, all UG1, PG1 students, they have to register in sports. So basically, in the first year, they have 4 sports. and they have to attend, and 75% attendance is required to get satisfactory. If they don't, they will get unsatisfactory and they are not going to be eligible for graduation. So this is very much serious. So about the benefit of the sports and sport activity, I'm sure that everybody is aware. So I'm just going to pass from this part, but please bear in your mind, once you join Film University, in the first year, sport is mandatory. The first interaction and first experience of students with the houses, laws, rule and regulation in sports facility and sports activity is inbound program. So this is a photos of just this year. So we had inbound program for almost 900 students this year, 900 plus. And in one day, every slot 3 hours, with the help of professional team, which we outsource it from outside. Of course, with the help of the students and our coaches, we have this activity for the students. So for the first time, they will come to know what is the house, what's the color of the houses, and that bonding within the houses, and is happening during this activity. So once you join Philips University, this is the first time that you're going to interact with the sports department. So as I mentioned, we have 4 houses with the 4 color, Aryabhata, Chanakya, Kalidas, and Vivekananda. You are going to allocate it in houses, and you will receive the email that you are in which house. So we have inter-house competition entire the year, and like football, basketball, volleyball, most of the sports mostly, and you are going to somehow fight for your house, compete for your house, get the point, and towards the end, any house that collect more number of the point or amount of point will be announced as a champion house. We have leagues. It's like an auction system, then run by the clubs, the sports clubs, and leagues is happening as per the sports calendar. And the attractive part of the this activity, apart that auction is always attractive, is that faculty staff also participating in this event, and we call it fasting, faculty and staff team. And students will get the chance to compete against. Of course, we are also getting chance to compete, have a competition against students, and lots of sledging is happening every time they want to defeat us. I mean, the students, but you can see from the photos that how we are strong. But it's fine. Please come, join, and try to get the trophy back. Kurukshetra. As I said, this is one of the best sports culture and management event, usually in the month of Feb, and everybody looking forward 1 week, just josh, energy, excitement, different energy entire the campus. Students running one of the best events, I can say, in India also. So lots of learning is happening. Big team. Last year, I think we had more than 200 students that help us to run this event. So this is going to happen every year in the month of Feb. Apart from events that we are hosting in Philim University, so we are sending students for other tournaments outside Philim. So college event is there, state level, district level also is there. So students will get the chance to have a different exposure, different experience by participating in other fest also. So basically, I'm very, very sensitive that which kind of tournament students has to participate. I make sure that the quality is there. So we are sending students to the tournament that I'm sure that they can be give them good experience. So that is only condition that we are sending students for the other tournaments. A sports person of the year award. If you are the sports person, you need to always keep in your mind that this award is very prestigious and you should try for it. So every year, based on the number of the events that you are participating, number of the medals that you're going to get, so you will get the point. There is a matrix for that. So towards the end, usually 3 to 4 nominate we have in both category, male and female, and one of you going to get this prestigious award, so which we call it the sports person of the year. As I said about the sports clubs, we have so far 21 sports clubs. All the events that I mentioned, inter-house, friendly matches, Kurukshetra, is running by the sports clubs only. These are the club president that you can see the photos for this year. And so basically every clubs, they have EC member, executive committee member, which is president, vice president, treasurer, and head of PR. And below that, there is a CC committee, core committee, which is deciding by the EC committee. And after that, below that is a volunteer, and all these club members from EC, CC, and volunteers are running all the sports activity under the supervision of sports secretary and joint secretary, which is part of the students council, and of course department of the sports. So if you are interested in sports, make sure that you will be part of these clubs as well. Another prestigious ceremony that we have is sports jersey unveiling. So every year in the month of Jan, we are like showing the new jersey of the year, and those are unveiling the jersey, and those are part of the team and selected by the coach. They will get the privilege of receiving the jersey in this day. So everybody is looking forward to see how we are going to unveil the jersey, what is the design, who is going to receive the jersey. So once you join, so you should expect to see this prestigious event as well, which this year is coming to 8 in the month of Jan, 8 Jan 2024. For the gym and swimming pool, though all the sports facilities, mostly is available for the students to use it because the sports classes are there, but gym and swimming pool is more demanded. So we have a booking system for the gym and swimming pool. So you need to book your slot, and as per the slot, you can use the sports facility. However, based off last year experience, we extend the timing of using gym and swimming pool. Is coming right from Monday, this Monday. So we extend the timing. Earlier it was 8 hours available. Now we are going to open it for 13 hours. So if there is still demand is there, so for sure we are going to consider it, and we are going to make it more available for the students, but I think it's going to be sufficient. This is the I'm always emphasizing in these slides that if you are planning to come to Film University, make sure that you are bringing your non-marking sports shoes, gym towel, bench size gym towel, and yoga mat. This is part of the the rule and regulation that everybody has to follow in the sports area. So I'm emphasizing on this. If you have a plan, make sure that you are coming with these 3 items. As of course we have specific rule for other courts as well. Like this is for the football, which kind of boots you can use in the football ground, and swimming costume, which kind of swimming costume is allowed, which one is not allowed. So all of these rules is made for your safety, and make sure that you are going to have a best experience in the sports facility. So this is our Instagram page. All the rule, regulation, activities, everything is mentioned in this page only. So if you have mobile is handy, please scan it quickly, and you can join this page. As of now, we have a good number of 777 followers. I'm expecting, how many we have here? 150. Anju, I'm not going to leave unless 150
Guys, please
followers
do it now.
we get right now. I'm just joking, but if you scan it, you can easily join this Instagram page. You can see all the activities that we are conducting in the sports department. Sports at Feline, don't forget to follow us. And
Yes.
this is my email address. If you have any question, you can just write to me. I'm happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Farooq. This was really
Most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, so we'll move forward with another very, very dynamic and interesting vertical of the university, which is outside of the class and your life. So we'll proceed with the next session, next
Sure,
speakers.
ma'am.
Thank you.
So now we have Professor Vaide Razmi, our head of student affairs, and she has completed her PhD from the University of Pune, India, and the Department of Physical Education. Professor Razmi has also done her undergraduate and postgraduate studies in Islamic Azad University in Iran, where she grew up. For over 9 years, she has been involved in further education, teaching subjects such as Persian language, research in education, advanced coaching, health and fitness management, human anatomy, human physiology, and sport injuries. Today, she will be leading us through the vibrant campus life at Flame. Every corner of our campus is alive with opportunities for growth, connections, and unforgettable experiences. Let us all hear it from her. Over to you, ma'am.
First of all, thank you so much, Arushi, for such a wonderful and sweet introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. I am so happy and honored to be here and talking to all of you. I do understand that you must be tired also because it's been 2 hours that you're sitting here and you're just listening to back-to-back presentations. So I want you to do something before I start, just for 2 minutes. I want all of you to stand up wherever you are. Just stand. Enough of sitting and, listening. Just stand. Just look at your left and right side. Just smile. Simply smile. And take a deep breath. And now you can sit. But keep smiling. That is very important.
So sweet, Vaide, so sweet.
That's how we are. People around us are always happy. We make sure that the students are happy, they're smiling, they're enjoying their time out of classroom. And I wanted them to feel it through the screen as well. So I'm going to talk to you about the very important part of a student's life, that is extracurricular activities, which is learning outside classroom. That is extremely important for Flame University. Flame University believes in all-round development of its students, which along with academics, compasses co-curricular sporting that Dr. Farooq just spoke to you about, social-cultural activities, adventure activities, and yes, we believe that these kind of activity really prepare students not only for job, but for life. So I'm sure you know a lot about liberal education and outcome of liberal education, and you must be knowing that there are like concepts like critical thinking, ethical reasoning, problem solving, decision making. All these skills get basically used and honed outside classroom when students participate in various co-curricular activities, and most importantly, organize those kind of activities. So all activities at Flame are organized by a student for students. We have very active students council. We also have very active set of clubs that are really very proud of them. And if you join Flame University, you'll have the chance to either be in a students council or to hold some position in club, or just simply be very active member of few clubs and enjoy your life and learn a lot from them. So as I mentioned, all activities are organized by students, council, and clubs. Just quickly to tell you about the structure of our students council, we have 23 members. On top, we have Flame University captain, and also we have 2 vice captains. Flame University Sorry, in this slide that you see there is a mistake here and here. This is the vice captain UG and this is the vice captain PG. We also have class captains. So UG1, UG2, UG3, FSP, PG C1, PG B1, PG C2, PG B2, and also BDES and FSP. We also have 4 houses. I'm sure Dr. Farooq spoke to you about these 4 houses that we have. Aryabhata, Chanakya, Kalidas, Vivekananda. That is the most exciting part of your life. Your houses that you either come and, you know, simply watch games to cheer your house, or you participate to gain some point for your house, because at the end of the year, we have this, best house trophy for sports and cultural activities. Yeah, so you remember, you start like learning, you know, chants of your house and wearing colors of your house, t-shirts of your house, you know, to support your house. And this is going to be very important part of your life at Flame. We also have 3 committees: sports committee, cultural committee, and welfare committee. And each committee has 2 secretary, like 1 secretary and 1 joint secretary. Secretary positions is for graduating batch students, not for you now, but joint secretary is for non-graduating batch students. So UG1s also can apply for joint secretary position. And all clubs, as I mentioned, and the whole committee that, you know, function under these 3 main committees. So yeah, this is our Students' Council 22-23. At the moment that I'm talking to you, interviews are of Students' Council 23-24 are happening. I had to, you know, tell them that I'll be back in 15 minutes because I have a presentation here. So our Students' Council will be formed very soon. Yeah, so, and also, as I mentioned, we have almost 30 non-sports club and equal number, I think about 22-3. Dr. Farooq knows the exact number of a sports club. Like basically you name it and we have. Any kind of activity that you want to do, we have. And if at all, something that you want to do and you see that it's not here in this list, don't worry. You can also form your club. There is a committee called Students Activity and Affair Committee. This committee helps students in forming their clubs, and they guide them through, you know, the process. Students simply need to just send their proposal to a Students Activity and Affair Committee. We call you for, you know, a presentation. You come with your team and present your idea, and then we either approve or reject the idea, and mostly gets approved. Well, this is just a glimpse of activities. As you see, this campus is just, as Arushi mentioned, very, very vibrant campus, very happening campus. It's like every night, 1 or 2 activity, whether sports, whether culture is happening. So you do not at all get bored when you are in Flame campus. In fact, I ask a student whether they get bored or whether they want to go to city. They said, no, ma'am, it's just so happening here that we enjoy being on Flame campus and in the valley more than visiting, you know, the city. We also have students run festivals, namely Kurukshetra. I'm sure Dr. Farooq must have again spoken about Kurukshetra. That is our biggest sports cultural management festivals. Apart from that, we have TEDx, we have First Cut, that is our international students run film festival. We also have UN. So if at all you are interested in being, you know, part of those fests, being in the organizing committee, you can. When time comes, the students will send an email, call for application, and you can, you know, appear for interviews and get some position to basically be a part of these festivals. And last but not the least, something that is very, very, very important in today's world: helping others, community outreach, helping people in need, helping people who are not as privileged as you and need your little attention, whether it is monetary, whether it is sharing your knowledge, whether it is sharing your smile. just making them simply happy. So we have Flame Community Service Club, we have the Story Project, we have a couple of these clubs and initiatives who focus only on helping society, helping people in need. Very actively, they go out of their way to do whatever they can to make people, underprivileged kids, kids of laborers and workers that come to campus happy, teach them something, educate them. And yes, if you are the person who want to help others, there are lots of opportunities here for you. So we also have this very active club called SACT, Support a Cause Team, that they do like big crowdfunding, but this crowdfunding are on the, Fuel a Dream basically platform. And they raise like, 10 lakhs about to help like women in rural area, education of, underprivileged kids, students, things like that. They do just fabulous job. And yes, students who participate in activity, they master the art of crowdfunding. There's lots of learning happening when students, participate in crowdfunding activity. And last but not the least, we take fun so serious that we have also an award for them, but it's not about fun. We have an award for efforts put in by our dynamic students. We have a Sports Person of the Year award. Again, I'm sure Dr. Farouk must have spoken to you about this. We also have Best in Co-Curricular Award of the Year that goes to just one male and one female students, like best performing students. And we also have Trailblazer Award that go to students who are not like absolutely the best, but they're all rounder with good CGPA, decent cultural, and decent like sports points, which is announced towards the end of the year. And apart from that, as I mentioned, these trophies are like for the best house in the sports, best house in cultural, and the best house overall in sports, CGPA, and cultural. And yes, that I end my presentation here. It was so nice talking to all of you here. And I want you to just remember one thing, that Flame is the place that one can breathe everlasting culture and knowledge. I hope to see all of you very soon in Flame campus, and have a great, great day ahead.
Thank you, Vahide. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Pleasure.
Thank you. Uh, we'll go with the proceeding and, be mindful of the time, please. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. I'm sure like a lot of us are very excited to also see the new students coming onto campus. I would like to hand over the proceedings to Nimita now.
Yes. So moving on, it's not just about the faculty, it's also about the students who walk these halls. So now you get to hear from our very own students from different years as they share their unique experiences and perspectives. So let's hand it over to our students.
Hello everyone, my name is Myra Gidam and I'm an undergraduate one student, and I wanted to share my experience as a new student at Flame. So I've been at Flame for almost a month now, and I wanted to start by talking about why I chose it in the first place. So as an NRI student, I had a lot of choices, but something that really caught my eye about Flame is the fact that it's a university of liberal education, and I wanted to go somewhere that felt familiar and made me feel welcome. And Flame has done an excellent job at doing that. So I also, including the admission process, which I have undergone very recently, it was extremely streamlined. It completely decreased my stress managing my workload as a high school student, and it was completely really efficient. It consisted of the Flame entrance aptitude test, if you choose to take it, which I did. And the process was extremely smooth. I showed up for the test, it was all perfect. And the personal interview that was conducted was very professional. It was perfectly scheduled. And even when I had to reschedule it, it was totally taken care of for me. So moving on to my experience at Flame so far. It's been an extremely fresh and like just very vibrant experience. As soon as I stepped foot on campus for the orientation, I noticed the vibrancy and the diversity of the student body straight away. It was so reassuring. I knew there were so many peers who were just like me, just very eager to learn about the campus, the faculty, the courses, and we're all just very excited to get inducted. Something that Flame did is assign me a peer mentor, and I was given 10 other peers in the group with me. And we were all very eager to share our experiences, talk about uh, how we were finding the campus so far. So, for the first 2 weeks, it was just a totally self guided and guided by our peer mentors and our faculty mentors. And it was just an amazing induction. It was just really reassuring for me. During the first week of the orientation, Flame also ensured that we got a thorough understanding of all the courses, how to use all the software, and it really took all the stress off my shoulders, so I could completely focus on just experiencing the campus for myself, getting used to the student life, managing all my new things that I had to worry about, and it allowed me to get familiar with everything before the classes actually started. So another thing I really admire about Flame so far is the ability to make connections anytime, anywhere. Flame has so many cafes on campus where I can just talk to any of the peers in my batch, and it's just totally normal to make connections on the spot. Even in my accommodation with my roommate, we weren't close at all at the start, but as time passed, we became so familiar with each other. We help each other with everything, and it's just an amazing experience. I want to kind of elaborate this further by joining clubs that pique my interest, meeting people who have the same interests as me, and it's I know it's going to be great. Um, the independence that Flame allows me in terms of managing my own finances, my classes, my timetables, and how I choose to use my time, it's been great because it allows me to harness like a sense of responsibility and allows me to maintain an excellent work-life balance, and it just gives me a sense of freedom that I didn't have before. Um, I also wanted to talk about the student body and all the events they've organized for us so far, even though it's not even been a month. And I just feel like it really shows the innovation that the students at Flame have to offer. And just this week, we had so many events, such as a freshers, that allowed us to get inducted fully. It allowed us to embrace the life at Flame, the student life at Flame. And it's just been really, really nice with all the workload that we've been having. So the balance is what makes it really important. So yeah, that's been my experience at Flame so far. Thank you so much for listening, and I would like to hand it over now.
Hello everyone, I'm Snehan Chauhan. I'm a third year graduate student, and my major is digital marketing and my minor is finance. So to start with, I chose Flame because it offered a wide range of options and it gave me the ability to choose the major minor combinations, and that really appealed to me. So before entering Flame, I was preparing for my NEET medical entrance exam, and I soon realized that it wasn't the right thing for me. But what I did know that I really wanted to pursue a career in communications. So that's when I discovered Flame. So Flame offers a diverse range of courses, and this caught my attention. And I was looking at subjects related to journalism, advertising, branding, and digital marketing. So initially, I did plan on majoring in advertising and branding and a minor in psychology, but my course choices changed and evolved over time, and now it's digital marketing and finance. So the first year is designed to help students explore the various subjects. And it was during my first year that I was introduced to digital marketing with the DMAC 101 class. I still remember my class. And on the first day, sir ended up showing like 10 different ads. And we were just discussing ads from Zomato, Google, the fight between Burger King and McDonald's. So that's like a very relevant and a very popular example here. And thanks to a rapidly growing in digital marketing sector as well, this helped me solidify my decision. Now, coming to my minor in finance, so this was a complete shift from my initial plan. After taking a few finance related courses and a psychology course, I was definitely certain that psychology is not my game. I cannot memorize the names of chemicals, and the biology just wasn't for me. And all those numbers also still scare me, but the introductory classes, which helped me learn finance more, actually made me ease into the process, and it actually, made numbers interesting. And no idea as to what exactly finance was all about. So digital marketing and communication is a very fascinating major at Flame. You get a proper hands-on approach. You have experienced professors. You have guest lecturers coming in all the time, and we also have had a few influencers coming in. So they tell you the tricks of the trade and how exactly the algorithm works sometimes. And you are taught about strategies, management skills, and all the aspects which are required to understand the industry. And in the second and third year, we actually delve deeper into our majors and minors, and we get to apply our knowledge through various demos and being part of clubs and various internships as well. But if I was to say one unforgettable experience related to my major, it would be the 2 month offline internship I did in Mumbai. So basically, at the end of each year, at the end of the second year, sorry, everyone is required to do a offline internship. So it's called the summer internship program. So this was an incredible opportunity for me as I worked with brands. I applied whatever I had learned in Flame. And the people I worked with were quite impressed with that I knew because I had covered a lot of things in my class. So the only thing I had a problem with was actually understanding how the industry properly worked. Otherwise, besides that, I was sorted with all the knowledge, Google ads, social media strategies, everything was sorted. So now, like my future plan now kind of includes getting more work experience after my graduations, and I'm talking to my professors with that. They are always available, so I am always annoying my professors with like a number of questions, but they are still like very great. They answer all my questions properly. We stay back after class like 15 minutes, and they are just there to answer my questions. So 2 years ago, I never really imagined I would be so passionate about digital marketing. And now it has actually become a very significant part of my life. I am doing PR for a few clubs. I have also recently started freelancing as a LinkedIn management, and I also am doing personal branding on the side. And it's just great to be able to apply everything. And even though I'm doing freelancing on the side, learning digital marketing in the class is, making it really easy for me. And it's giving me a lot more insights as to what I can do going forward. So just like since I was also seeing a lot of questions here asking if maths is a major requirement for finance. I did not do maths in my 12th, even though I was a science major. Numbers and commerce was all new to me after I came to Flame, but the first year at Flame actually helped me get into that finance. So it was a complete shift from science to doing something in business and finance, basically. So just like one advice for everyone who's here, like for if you all are still very unsure about your future career path, my advice would be not to stress because it was only in my first year that I had a vague idea as to what I wanted to do. And it was in my second year that everything began to fall in place. So take your time to explore. And when you choose to join Flame, your first year is like really crucial. So, because this is where you get to experience and explore a wide range of subjects. You can do psychology, you can do sculpture, design, digital marketing. You have a lot of choices. So just explore everything because I don't think any other university gives you such or so many options. So just make the most of this unique experience. Thank you so much for listening. Now I'll hand over to Darshan.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for giving me your time. My name is Darshan Damle from UG3, and I am a finance major and a theater minor. Quite a different combination. Again, just true to the testament that you can really choose two completely different professions or areas of work in this university. I would like to believe that I'm a seasoned player when it comes to these extracurriculars, as Dr. Razmi and Dr. Farooq both spoke about. Um, Quick backstory: I had probably not even done one cultural event before coming to Flame in school. I was more on the sporty side. But after coming to Flame, I I've been really proactive in that process because it is so interesting and it is so active and so um, therapeutic, because you get to take a break from your rehearsals and your numbers as well. So in Flame, I have had the opportunity to be the general secretary of Kurukshetra, as mentioned before, which is right below the chairperson. I've also had the opportunity to be the president of a sports club, which was the billiards club. And now I have just finished my interview for the Aryabhatta House captain. So I'm a little dressed in formals for that. But I think this, rather than focusing on what has been done, it should be what that those activities has made you. And I think that it's created a leader in me. It has allowed me to improve on my public speaking skills, which is a very important aspect to my Flame life, because I've gotten approximately 20 opportunities to host various events, whether they be formal events, informal events, auctions. So you have all this fun stuff going on. So more than focusing on what you're doing and just leadership positions, it's what it brings out of you, and how it's transformed me into this person who could speak, but to a confident speaker, to a person who can think on spot and take decisions quickly, and then take responsibility for those decisions, which is the most important thing. So I think if you guys are coming to Flame University, apart from the whole education side of it, which has been spoken about for a while, I can say that work towards these extracurricular things, not only in sports and cultures, but also in welfare, as rightly mentioned. Try giving your best to maybe the cultural committee, also the sports committee, the welfare committee, and do something in those three spheres or all three spheres. Even though you don't want to do leadership positions, you can still contribute in any way possible. It is not only going to take away from your stress in your academics, but also it's generally helps you evolve as a human being into a good leader, a good Samaritan. So thank you so much for that. And I will be moving on to now Mrityunjay.
Hello, so I'm Rityunjay Lala, a third year student at Flame University. I'm majoring in finance and minoring in digital marketing. But before I get into that, I'll tell you about a story of how I landed here. I initially started with aerospace engineering at University of Colorado in Boulder, while also pursuing a business minor. However, COVID-19 brought me back to India, and that's when I was a bit uncertain of what to do going forward. I had to make a decision of should I take a gap year or should I explore opportunities here in India? And that's when I stumbled upon Flame. But before Flame and say after aerospace, I knew I didn't want to pursue engineering in India, but I wasn't entirely sure about what to do. But Flame allowed me to explore my interests in my first year, which is exactly what I needed. During my first year, I discovered I genuinely enjoy content creation and filmmaking. It's something that not only excites me, but also helps me relax. And this was not just through the courses at Flame, but also being part of, say, the photography club or working with the branding team, marketing team, or outreach teams at Flame University. It gave me a real world experience of how things work in this field. It also helped me explore the opportunity of freelancing in this field, after which I have worked with multiple brands, say the Beauty Co, Beardo, Jellyfish Water Sports, Purom, Crescent Silver, and many, many more. I also now run my own YouTube channel called Basically Indian, which has gathered over 380,000 plus views. Apart from all of this, I have found a strong affinity for digital marketing, particularly the data-driven aspect of it. Like Snehan mentioned, for digital marketing, a lot of influencers come to campus and they give us lectures. So you really get to understand the algorithm. And even the professors, it gives you a whole round experience on how the entire field works and not just content creation. And I stayed with my passion for finance. These two things complement each other and become universally applicable in any field or any domain. as part of my journey with finance, some of my insights on, say, the financial markets or during the cryptocurrency hype have been published in the Economic Times multiple times. And a major role that was played during this was through the Flame Investment Lab. They really helped me out to develop and level up these skills of mine. And that's how this was all possible. Overall, now I am able to effectively invest the revenues I create from my freelance projects, which in turn helps me acquire more clients through my digital marketing skills, and that creates a whole round experience. In summary, like, Flame is not just about learning, it's about holistic development. It from academics to cultural teams to sports, everything fosters you for growth, and it is something that gets you ready for the real world. Thank you.
I'll just take a moment here. All the audience, this is your opportunity to ask your questions from the students directly, because I do understand that, these students were just in your shoes a couple of years ago, and you might relate with them much better. So we're just giving you 3-4 minutes to quickly post your questions, while I'll leave it to all four of you one by one. You can answer those questions live, please. So let's start quickly, yeah. And these questions should be, more focused towards what you want to hear from a student, not any employees, whether it's faculty or the admissions.
So I think there were a few questions about what are the classes like at Flame.
So
So I'll
there's
just,
interesting ones, Sneh. So is it
yeah.
difficult to balance academic and social and personal life? I think this will cover a lot of your questions. So here, if all of you can just give a comment. Very good question. I don't know why it's anonymous though. But how difficult is it to manage academics and social life?
Okay, I'll start, then Mrityunjay, you can take over. So it's if you manage your time properly, it's not that difficult. So academics are a little bit rigorous at Flame, but you just have your time set up properly, because in the morning you'll have classes and in the evening you'll have events. So every week or every month you will have major events happening. So it's not that difficult at all. You even if you have assignments pending or if you have anything which is going on elsewhere, believe me, events are something which you will end up making time for, because the events are such. So I think Rityunjay can answer that better, because he just organized a freshers recently.
So
Uh,
yeah,
the,
right.
I'll quickly throw these questions, Mrityunjay. How
Yeah.
do you deal with those personal breakdowns along with with the academics? You can talk about your breakdown if you had, or a friend of yours who you witnessed. Yeah, and is flame
Okay.
strict? Yeah, later on.
So I think it eventually depends on the kind of person you are about balancing. And I agree with Snehan quite a bit that it is not a very big challenge to balance your personal life and cultural activities and, say, whatever you're doing on the side. But at the same time, you have to be prepared to be able to manage your time effectively. And for, say, there are moments that I've had friends have personal breakdowns because it does get overwhelming at points. There is a lot of workload at times, but I think Flame gives you a community that you can go and talk to so many friends who are there for you always. I think I've made a really close friend group being in Flame. So yeah, I think from the shift from US to coming here, I was very uncertain because I was someone who would be like a year elder to everyone in my batch. I wasn't really sure about that, will I get along with everyone there? How will things be? But it has just been so good at Flame.
So this question is for Myra.
Uh,
Could you please elaborate on how did you prepare for the admission process, especially the entrance exam and the in-person interview? And you're the freshest one of all of the students, so this is question for you, Myra.
So in terms of preparing for the admission process, I was given dates for both my Flame Entrance Aptitude Test and the personal interview. So the uh, Flame test is basically just an alternative if you haven't taken the SAT. So They did provide me with a practice test, which I did do beforehand, just to make sure I was all ready. And for the personal interview, I knew I would just have to talk about why I was a good fit for Flame. So I would recommend just focus on talking about yourself, why you want to join Flame, why you think you're a good fit for Flame, and so on.
All right. How many hours of studies are required per day? Snehan or anyone else, the senior ones, how many
Okay,
hours of studies are required per day?
so it depends on your major or minor. So usually, people usually give like 3, 4 hours per day, but sometimes it's just you don't study at all. Sometimes cause events and everything. But 1 to 2 hours is a good enough time. And in that is because you have assignments and everything so much. Like from day one or like the second month itself, you will be bombarded with assignments sometimes, and you have to manage them. So you just
So
end
the
up,
key is consistency. So it's
yeah,
not
the key
about
is
how many
consistency.
number and you do ask per day, but you get into a very overwhelming situation if you've just been ignoring your extra
Yeah.
your prep, and then suddenly you find very overwhelmed situation.
And I think
So
after a month, everyone does get used to it. Because
yeah.
like you understand how the classes are working, how the professors are, what you can expect. So if you're just pre-planning everything ahead of time, it just makes life very easy.
So, since the two of your finance students here, how does it feel to pursue finance at Flame? Do you feel like like the fee is worth it?
I think definitely. And if you would have asked me this question, say, before my SIP internship, which is like Sneha discussed, a summer internship, I was not sure. But after, while working with other peers at a company, I was working at a CA firm there. And I realized that people who are doing their who are doing their articleship, or people who are pursuing a CFA,
Postgraduate,
we
yeah.
were on power with them. It was not like I was feeling that I don't know this. Rather, I knew a little bit more than they did in certain aspects. So it is definitely worth it.
Great. So yes, the time's up. We'll take more questions later. Before there are a lot of questions about admissions and your eligibility. People want to know about the scholarships. What are the requirements of the subjects? Like math has come up a couple of times, so I will take it up from here, and I will choose not to use the PPT, but one of you should just keep directing me questions as I speak. So, yeah, I mean, if somebody wants to introduce me, yes.
Yes, ma'am, I'll go ahead and introduce you. So thank you, first of all, to all the students who were able to come and give their time and provide such valuable insights into how it is actually on the campus. So thank you, guys. Also, I would just want to introduce the next part. So the journey to becoming a part of Flame University begins with understanding the admission process. So here, Ms. Anju Deoskar, the Director of Admissions Outreach, will be taking you through the entire process and ensuring that your path to Flame is smooth and stress-free.
Perfect.
So
Thank you.
please, ma'am, go ahead.
Thank you. It was such a lovely afternoon that we've had so many students who have shown interest and are staying here throughout. So, number one, I'm so sorry, I'm not unable to share my screen with some technical problem, but I'll just make sure that I'm, addressing each and everything that has been asked, right? So if you look at Flame app, just the admission process, okay, it's really simple. Everybody has to first go through an application. If you're a midway somewhere in the application, we do not consider that because it's a university. We're receiving thousands of application, and there has to be a order of preference given to people who are providing us the right information at the right time. Right now, currently, we're all open for pre-registrations where the students have shown interest in 2024 intake along with what course probably they want to do, whether it's the undergraduate or the design. So, two things very clearly: people who are interested in design will make an application for design because their entrance test is a little bit different than the undergraduate. Rest, everybody, be it someone wanting to pursue journalism vis a vis your international studies, or psychology or economics or finance, anything that you want to study at Flame, you will be applying for just an undergraduate program. Now, this is when your application starts. You will fill up your personal details. You will provide us with your basic personal details, including your academic details. Then, at the middle of the application, we're going to ask you to pay up 2,000 rupees for your application fee. Once you pay the fee, your application is not yet done. You have to submit it till the end. Once your application fee is done, now here we ask you to also provide us with the evidence of what personal information you have already filled in your application. It could be your personal documents, such as your date of birth and your grade 10 and 11 report cards, or your mark sheets. Once you do that, you can, and then there's some extra tabs where you can put in more details about you, and that is where you create a little edge over your other co-applicants, is what we call as a student profile. Here is the time when I want to know what have you done outside of your class in this school, outside of your school, in your locality, in your city, in your country, or whether it's more cultural driven, whether it's a social driven cause, or whether it's a sports activity that you've been participating. And what makes a stronger profile is that when we see that somebody is, now there are two ways of looking at it, and every university has a different thing. For Flame, it is important. We don't want someone who's done one year you've done an MU, and the next year you do something else, third year you do something else, fourth year you. So whatever you've done, we want to see how focused are you in your own interested, and have you developed it. And then that helps us to understand you. And then your when your personal interview stage comes, after your test, that is the time the faculty interviewing will see, and they may ask you questions about that. But for those who've not done, because we are sitting here right here, just few months left to apply, you don't have to be worried. If you have done diverse thing, then you have to explain to me what was the reason. Maybe sometimes it just happens that people do not find it easy, or the situation is such that you have not really found your passion or your cause, and you're still exploring. So you should be able to justify that, right? So you upload all the documents of all your extracurricular activity. I strongly advise everyone to prepare a CV for yourself, because activity, those places you may put in evidence. You put in 10 certificates, like you got it in 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, and then this was inter school and this was intercity and whatever. Those certificates are one thing, but how can you summarize it beautifully in your CV? And you can please go onto the internet and find multiple ways of creating a CV, and pick the format that connects best with your kind of achievements that you've had, right? So make a CV where you're talking more about your skills and your qualities, and which gives us a very clean understanding of who am I talking to. Once those documents are uploaded, you come to the end part of the application, which is a statement of purpose. Statement of purpose, again, is something we know what we are looking for in a student who must fit into the environment. So we've created certain cues, questions in the statement of purpose. Please take time. Do not answer a very uh, closed ended kind of information. Give us, elaborate more on what your really thoughts are, what are your opinions. Don't be diplomatic all the time. So answer those questions, and that's not a very lengthy process. You can just answer it in maybe 150 200 words per question, or just even 100, depending on how you articulate, right? So once your application is done, we will start sending you emails about your feat, Flame Entrance Aptitude Test, if you are a UG applicant, and Flame Design Aptitude Test if you are an applicant for the Bachelor's of Design program. Now, once you receive that, you appear, and like you heard Myra, you'll get a sample and an access to the platform. so that I know when you're being tested, there's a different kind of anxiety and, like, fear sometimes that every student may feel. So we give you an access to the platform to just understand how the platform will look like. We also have some sample question papers of the feet, because you should know what the form is. None of those questions are going to be replicated, just be sure, but at least you get an idea of what is it that I'm going to be asked, and then prepare yourself accordingly. Once your feet is done, your testing is done, then immediately you get a topic where we ask you to write on the spot essay. And here, essentially, we are giving you about 20-23 minutes to write about 200 words or 250 words. And what are we looking at? Again, we're not looking at some diplomatic thing, because here we'll give you a cause, an issue, or something that's in your society. Okay, and we want to know your opinion. We will not judge you whether your opinion is correct or wrong. That's not upon us. But we want to know how you function and what kind of a person, how do you think, and not to judge you on that particular opinion, but to understand how your thought process works. Once all of this is done, you will be called for a personal interview. If you have not given your test, you will not be called for the personal interview, which means you have to apply again, which means you have to pay your application fee again, or request and plead to my team, and if we have time, we'll maybe move your cycle, but we normally don't appreciate that, because we give you enough time, enough counseling. We are always there to help you, so you must also respect how the whole team works to cater to such a large volume of applications. So once that is done, your interview will be scheduled. There'll be another team of people who will get in touch with you after your application and set you up for the final interview. Once the interview is over, in 2 weeks, you normally get the result. Now, this was all about what the application is. Now, what is the aptitude test, right? In that, we're looking at your verbal ability, reasoning ability, quantitative ability, and general know-how of the society and the world. Do you have to prepare for it? Yes, if you have left your mathematics in 11th and 12th, you've not studied math after 10th, and it's been 2 years, we do honestly advise, see the sample test paper and see what kind of math level is there as part of your feet, and how comfortable you are. If you're comfortable, it's okay. If you're not, then you may like to just brush up a little bit on your grade 10 level math, right? It's essentially for 120 minutes plus your essay added 20 minutes, and your interview. When you're doing your aptitude test, you will get a very clear email indication on what all documents physically you have to have for identity proof when you're taking this, because it's a virtual platform and we want to maintain fairness in all to all our knowledge. Now, talking about the selection process, it essentially we're looking at how you've performed in your grade 10 and 11. You do not need a grade 12 certificate to apply and get an offer. You need your grade 12 certificate before you come to the university. On the day we went in the orientation, people have to show their originals at that time. So you need your grade 10, you need your grade 12. We're looking at that performance. We're looking at your FEAT or FDAT performance. We're looking at how you performed in interview and what the faculty feedback was. We're looking at the profile that you had given. And based on all of that, we take a decision. Now, a little bit about eligibility. Can I just see how many students are from national curriculum vis-a-vis? I'm sorry, have I? Am I? Can anyone hear me? Sorry, my screen has gone
Yes, ma'am,
frozen.
you're
Yes,
audible.
you're audible.
I'm audible, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, can you just tell me how many of your national curriculum, which means your CBSE, ICSE, and state boards, and if any one of you is A level or IB? And Roshni, if you can just tell me the, but anyways, I'll cover all of these. So if you're a national curriculum student, which means a CBSE, ICSE, or a state board student, the eligibility is that you must have, uh, you know, a past certificate and maybe a 60% above. But does that give you an admit? I don't know, because we are looking at a pool, and that's where the merit thing plays in. So I strongly recommend do spend time on, and this is applicable to all good universities. Okay, so please focus on your grade 12 performance, though it may not matter right now. Right now we'll be looking at how you perform in 10th and 11th. For all the A level students, the minimum requirement in the case of Cambridge students is that you should have 5 subjects, okay, in A, B, and C grades, including English at O levels, and 3 subjects in advanced level. Okay, so this is your requirement. If you have a question, please reach out to any one of us. I'll request somebody to share an email ID of maybe one of the program advisors in the team. For IB, we accept only a diploma student as of now. Um, if you and obviously your predicted scores from your grade 11 will be part of your application. If you do not get a diploma at the time of admission for any reason, the offer will be revoked. So this is something, few things about the eligibility. Okay, now let's talk about the scholarships, right? At Flame University, we absolutely appreciate talent, and we are one of a very few university which gives, uh, uh, you know, merit scholarship without even asking. So, a lot of students who apply to Flame University, when they get their offers, they do get shortlisted and scholarship of whatever amount you fit into as per your credibility, right? It could be anywhere between 20% of your tuition fee to 100% of your tuition fee. We also have something called as need based financial aid. If you have secured a spot and you've been given an offer, but for some reason you cannot pay or afford the fee, you do not have to worry. Please write to us, and there is a financial aid team who will ask you for certain amount of documents. Now, why documents? Because we really want to be sure that we're giving to the right person who really needs it, because it is a need-based financial aid. Special scholarship for all the students who have performed really well in any non-academic fields. It could be you've achieved something, you have a maybe a business startup, or you're a national player or an international player or a state level player, or whatever your special talent is, you can write for that. You have to write to us, and the special scholarship will be considered. Those of you, we are also partner with the college board, which takes the SATs and these common entrance tests, and we are members with SAT. So if you already have an SAT score, you do not have to take the aptitude test. However, if you have an SAT score and you're applying for BDES, you will have to take Bachelor's of Design, because it's a design aptitude, which is different than SAT. But if you're also design aspirant, you might have taken UC and NIFT or NID exams, which are common entrance in India. Then those scores we will accept, but then those scores come much later. And if you want to secure your spot immediately in maybe October, the applications will open. By December, our first offers are given. So then in that case, you will have to take the aptitude test of Flame University. So college board, if you have high SAT scores, you can apply to college board and the university, and you will be on scholarship. Somebody had asked me about the fee structure. Currently, I have a fee structure of 2023. 2024 fee structure will be just out maybe when we open the applications, which is exactly a month later. But just a point, the fee would be around 10 lakh rupees per annum. And this will include the program fee, which is your tuition fee, your boarding and your food, and a little bit of caution money or deposit. So 10 lakh rupees is your annual fee, which will be the same. And I'm saying approximately because the new structure is not out, but it will be somewhere close. This first year and the second year fee is same. When you come to the third year, this fee also might increase by just 5%. Okay. And then fourth year will also continue. Now, the question about fourth year, which I think wasn't very clearly mentioned anywhere by my faculty, also was, if you're doing a economics major and you come to the university, you finish your 3 years, you have an option to exit out and be an economics major with whatever your minor option is. There are 20 plus minor options available with economics. But if you choose to do the fourth year, then your degree becomes an honors degree. So you will be economics honors graduate in 4 years with whatever minor you have. What do we recommend? Now on, we are recommending almost everybody to take up the fourth year, because national education policy, Geeta, thoda dheere please, sorry, national education policy says that after your 4 year of undergraduate program, you are eligible also to take up postgraduate, I mean, sorry, doctorate degrees, depending on what area you worked on and what research you've done. And at Flame University, as you heard the professors, there are a lot of research opportunities going forward. Now, like you heard from Santosh, that the regular 3 years is a redundant degree, and everybody, the government is saying that you should do liberal arts. But also, which we did not ask the question, is that also everybody will have to eventually take 4 years. The regular universities may give you option and may not care about giving you the right information in a right time, but because we are a state private university, we care about our own reputation more. And we know that going forward, the most well received degrees in the industry would be all 4 year degrees. I will take more questions now. uh, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am. You
Yeah.
are.
So if you can just read out the questions to me,
So
please.
there were a few questions regarding the Bachelor of Design entrance and the feet entrance. So if you could
Okay.
just clear that up, it will be great.
Questions on Bachelor of Design.
Yeah, entrance for Bachelors of Design and the difference between feet, because I think some of them are confused if there's a separate entrance for that
Okay,
or if
okay.
it's the same
Yes,
one.
yes. There is a separate application. Let me correct you there. Not only entrance, but a separate application. And mind you, like in undergraduate program, you have an option to exit after 3 years. In your this program, in your Bachelor's of Design, you do not have an option to exit after 3 years. You have to take and sign up for a 4 year undergraduate degree. Why so? Because of the nature of the subject. Here, it is not only about the knowledge, but also skill of making and doing things. And the curriculum is such where there'll be probably a lot more industry exposure, because design is again a reflection. The curriculum has to be the reflection of the industry. Otherwise, you finish your design and you go out for a job and you're already redundant, right? So the degree that we offer, it requires a 4 year program, and hence also it has a separate flame design aptitude test. What are we looking at? We are definitely not looking as a mandatory thing for you to have a portfolio. The trend with design is that people go to various centers to create a portfolio for themselves, which means they're learning design outside before they can come to the university. We don't want you to learn design and come. We're just looking at an aptitude about how you think. What are your creative streaks? How do you find a solution to a problem? What are your perspectives? Do you have an aptitude to do this well? And those the design FDAT sample papers, they will also be provided once you start taking up the process. Any other question?
Yes, there were a few questions if the feet will be online or offline, and
Everything is
also regarding the eligibility of SAT and if if someone gives an SAT, do they have to give it a feat? And if you could just clear that up for them.
So everything is online, right from your application to your aptitude test, to your essay, to your interview, to your fee payment portal, to your all of this is online. The second question was, sorry, I missed it.
If someone
Okay,
if
SAT
someone gives a
and
SAT and
yeah.
FEAT.
So if you've taken a SAT and you've scored anything below, and this is I'm telling you from my own experience of handling this, if you have below 1300, we recommend that please take your aptitude test also. If you're 1300 above, we don't recommend you to take our FTET. Then we just tell you to do a on the spot essay and the interview. Yes. Eligibility for scholarship, if you get above 95% in PCMB, or is there any other? So, like I said, scholarship is, we do not have a cutoff. Like, see, if you understand, this is not like a DU or a, any other university where they just have one deadline of application, and then what they do is they just feed the numbers in the system and they keep removing the list. Nobody knows who you are, right, in those conventional system of admits. There it is just 95.1 and 90.95.5. You're just a number there, right? But within our scholarship system, there are two things which are different. One is that we have multiple rounds. It's just not one round, right? So for example, if I have and this is just a an example. For example, if I have 10 applications, right? In those 10 applications, there are 10 students, 5 students who have maybe 95. I'll pick the same number. And I can give 2 scholarships. So with that 95, I'm also going to check how was your interview, how was your aptitude test, what was your essay like, and based on that, your number will come. And this is the reason why we always recommend people, if you've shortlisted us, please apply in the first round. So that, because we also allow all our students to apply twice, unlike many other universities, we give one more chance and no third chance. So at least if you are a student who is still looking for, so you have an offer but you don't have a scholarship, you still can do take one more application, or reach out to the office and start having conversations with us.
Uh, so, ma'am, a question I think that some students are having is, since their exams are probably later around May, June, uh, for them, how can they like put in the results? And also some questions about the
So I,
LORs.
so I did mention very clearly that I need your grade 10 and 11, which I'm sure everybody has done. I'm not even asking you when your result will be there. My university will start in August. We will call students for orientation in the first week of August or maybe last week of July. I don't know the dates yet for next year. Probably it will be the first week of August. That is the time you should have your mark sheet of your grade 12. And at that time, if you've not, and that if we've given you an offer based on your 10th, 11th, your aptitude test, your interview, which means you're good with us, whether you get a 95 or at that time a 75, we're not looking at that, because please understand, those are, our systems are different. This could be a situational thing. We've seen the consistency in you in your 10th and your 11th. There may be a chance that in 12th sometimes things happen, and maybe it was not your best day, probably, right? So we will not judge you on that at that moment. But right now, when I'm giving you an offer, at that time, I'm looking at your 10th and 11th, and there, if you have not performed, you may not even get a offer. So, it's little different. But answering to the straight question, do you have your exams? Please focus on your exams, and that is the reason when you have an opportunity to apply in October and get your offer in December, or maybe then Jan and then the Feb. So all these cycles are there. So come early, get your decision, so that when your exams are happening, you already have an offer. You're not even worried. It's so much of stress taken off your shoulders.
Yes, ma'am.
So can we apply without the IB diploma? Yes, Mehen, you can apply without the IB diploma, but you cannot join the university without the IB diploma. Yeah. So what I will need is your letter of recommendation, your predicted grades from your school as part of your application, and your 10th
Uh,
and 11th marks.
some of them are even asking from whom are the LORs required.
uh, from everybody. You can get it from your subject teacher, maybe your favorite subject. You can get a letter of recommendation from your counselors. You can get a letter of recommendation from your principal. So from the school, not your private counselor, because many of the people have a private counselor. We don't accept those LORs. It has to be from your school, a teacher, a coordinator, a counselor, or a principal.